Facebook might actually work. Yeah, we're live. Okay. Oh wow, sorry, 10, 12 people here. What the hell? And there is no love for you. You got a pre-show. Sorry about that. Trying to get this working. Where is your house? Tomorrow, people. How long will you last? All right, let's stop. I was testing. I was trying to make sure that this worked. It didn't work yesterday. Good. Facebook got me back, baby. What are we doing today? Oh yeah. I triggered somebody yesterday. Actually, I triggered a few people. So today, for the love of the people who got triggered yesterday, who feels that we shouldn't talk about certain things like floating rocks on Mars, and I don't think they got the point. I don't really care if they're floating rocks on Mars. I don't care. What do floating rocks on Mars got to do with my garden? Not a damn thing. What do they got to do with my day? Nothing. Now I'd like for them to, but they don't. Hang on. So I'm still trying to make up here. Let me get I gotta find a background that goes with the mermaid topic. We're gonna talk about mermaids today. There's a thought coming out there. I have no idea where this is gonna go, but there is a thought there. Because complaining about what other people believe needs to stop. That needs to come to a swift end. Oh, it needs to come to a swift end. I might have an earful today for you. I might have an earful or two. Hopefully you got room in your ear. We need to stop telling other people what to believe. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. People see mermaids, then that's fine. Leave them alone. They see UFOs, that's fine. Leave them alone. They talk to aliens, damn it, let them talk. They see some Bigfoot, let them talk. You know what? And this is why I'm on this today. I haven't even started and I'm already upset. But I'm not upset. I don't get this whole adult, you need to believe what I believe nonsense. We are the weirdest generation of adults, I think, on the planet. All right, now done. I got that too. So I had to get it out. It was in here, it's a little congested. It's now out. Let me find a background that goes along with the, please don't ever tell me what to talk about. Please don't do that. Don't do that. There we go, mermaids. We're gonna talk about mermaids today. More on the human belief thing and the world we live in. But I'm gonna go on the mermaid thing. You know why? Because I talked to somebody about mermaids. I did. Spent about an hour. We were talking about mermaids. Mermaids. Yeah, that's right. We was talking about mermaids. Hang on. Good morning, everybody. Let me bring in the animation because I got to see some angry faces. We're gonna talk about mermaids. Yes, we're gonna talk about mermaids. At least that's gonna be my beginning of the rant. I have no idea what we talk about. It's not up to me. It ain't up to me. It's up to these people. This is what we talk about. They're the ones who drive it. But apparently, I missed some commentary yesterday, and there was some fussing about what we talk about. Again, talk to let people believe what they want to believe. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you at all. Stop telling the other people what to believe. Come on, everybody. How's everybody doing? Dang it, it's hot. Hang on, y'all hot? I'm hot. It's hot in here. I gotta turn this air on. Goodness gracious, what the hell is wrong with the weather? Ooh, did we get in some great climate change discussions yesterday? I was having some fun. I have fun all the time. I don't know what the hell it is. Something wrong with me. I must be a little crazy. They would do that both on here like, oh yeah, you crazy as hell. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we're gonna talk about mermaids today. I need to get one more thing. I have to turn this air on. Hold on a second. Dang, it's hot. I'm here sweating like a monkey. There we go. Cut that sucker on. There is. Dang it! That thing. I didn't have a remote. I can't find my remote for the air conditioner. I had to use the 80s remote. Y'all remember the 80s remote? The 70s and the 80s remote. You just have some more kids. Need to turn the TV. Need to turn the channel. That was me. I was the remote. And it's not even funny. That was talk about an act of slavery. Anytime we were watching the Dukes of Hazzard or Falcon Crest or Dallas or whatever, everybody get to sit in their chairs, relax, get comfy, get the TV dinners and Hungry Man. You young people don't know what I'm talking about. That's okay. And the smallest one had to be the one to go turn the damn channel. That was me. And I don't think it's funny. That's some slavery. Anyway, How y'all doing? We're gonna talk about mermaid. I'm gonna talk about, no, we're not talking about mermaids, but I'm gonna talk about beliefs and leave people alone. Uh-oh, they can't see the title. Let me move it down to make sure I get enough of the outrage. Yes, there we go. Mermaids believe in solidarity with Mermaid Guild 772 Region 12. All right, hang on. All right, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing this. I love y'all to death, but I'm telling you why I'm doing this. I'm gonna tell you. Stop caring about what other people believe. As long as it's peaceful and it stays inside of them, bless it. Be happy with it and enjoy it. Leave other people alone. Get off of these colonizer, Columbus mindsets that you gotta tell other people what to believe and they gotta believe what you believe. You're ignorant, literally. Mermaids bite me. Mermaid, they might be real. Let me tell you about this. So anyway, so I got a little disturbed. It was the whole, oh, you're not supposed to talk about this. We think you're paid by the CIA. I'm paid by the CIA. I got an air conditioner that got a remote control. I'm paid by the CIA. Really? Okay. Listen, people, I love y'all to death. I do. Don't control. Just let this do what it is and stop trying to control other people. If people believe something that's peaceful, be happy with it. Bless them. Y'all, we live in a very evil society. And I'm gonna tell you about this conversation I had yesterday. So, because yesterday I had the anomaly picture. I had that floating rock from Mars. Like, there's no real floating rocks on Mars, because people look at the background and they think that's what we're talking about. And it really isn't even that. This is just a weird, crazy thing that's evolving, and I don't even know who's doing it. It just starts somewhere and it goes to cuckoo land, but it comes back to like a deep thought. It's a hive mind thing. But, so I had the floating rock image background. So, well, we need to debate if that's a floating rock and if that's Mars and if that's a real picture and if it's JPL and it's where's the link? I need to go to original empirical evidence. But I'm like, shut up. Shut up. I love you to death, but shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Are you going to Mars anytime soon? Are you? I know I ain't. Ain't nobody taking me to Mars. You crazy? Ain't nobody, they gonna give me some Bob Marley foot cancer. I keep calling them out. They ain't sending me to Mars. So I don't care if it's a floating rock on Mars. I don't care. I literally don't care. I don't care if it's a Bigfoot in Washington. I don't care if it's a mermaid in New Jersey. I don't care if it's a chupacabra in Mexico, but I find them interesting stories. If you believe and it's peaceful, I'm good to go. That's it. I'm not raging against flat earthers. I don't really care about that. That I think is interesting. You gonna tell me the story about the earth being flat on the back of turtle? That's a great story. Have you ever listened to the story? Or you just put your ignorance right out there to try to tell everybody what you believe? Quantum physics is a thing and we don't know a damn thing. All right, but outside of that, so I done talked to this sweet woman about mermaids for about an hour yesterday. About an hour. Oh, and it was very clear in talking to her. She believed. She totally believed. Do I believe in mermaids? Belief is a hard word for me because I don't really know anything. Belief is I live in a society where they lie about everything and they make stuff up and they find anything important. I'm the last monkey they're gonna tell. So it's low on my plausibility scale. But it's not zero. It's not zero because the sailors saw the mermaids. But anyway, in her eyes, she believed. She believed. She was excited. It was obvious that no one ever engaged with her and asked her about the mermaids. Asked her what color they are. Do they really have scales? Where are their sexual organs? I asked that. I did ask that. I'm a man. I might be a lot of things. I'm still a man. I'm trying to get out of that monkey stuff, but it's something. I tell you, a man and you mermaids real. Come on, stop it. The first thing men gonna do. That's why women run the world. Okay, we just like to pretend. She was excited. She was excited by it. She wanted to tell me the first time she saw one, New Zealand, second time she saw a mermaid, and it made her feel good. It made her day that somebody was well, I don't know if it made her day, but she was excited that I actually gave a damn. She was excited that I wasn't, you know, doing my, it's not real because I haven't seen one. It's not real because I don't believe that. It's not real because it's not in my scriptures. It's not real. Like, I didn't even go there. I kept that narcissistic stuff in the box. I kept that sociopathy? What is that called? Where everybody got to, you are the center of the world. Everything you believe is right and what everybody else believes is wrong. We got to stop with this nonsense. Why do you care? Like, half the time I'm in the comment sections and I see people going on, if I don't agree, I don't agree. I might tell you why I don't agree, but I don't really like care to engage and break your fantasy. Listen, people, we live in a murderously bloody cult of a world where people create fantasies to survive, just to get up in the damn morning. Who are you to break apart people's fantasies that give them the sustainable thing that they need to get up in the morning and deal with a central bank tax slave colony where most people don't even know they're slaves? Who are you? You don't know. That person might be hiding some childhood trauma in the fantasy. They built a world that actually works for them. It's not even about y'all debating if mermaids are real. I saw the comments. I'm like, they debating if mermaids are real? I think they might be debating. I don't know. It's like, I don't care. Why do you care? If it lets the person do something, right? If they were abused as a child and they built this whole world believing in Loch Ness Monster, they built this whole world believing in Democrats and Republicans. I know, I'm gonna go there. I have to go there. I don't really have a choice. I don't have a choice. Yeah, people murder. Here's where I stop. I'll sit there and I'll listen to you talk to me about mermaids for an hour more. If I got the time. If it makes you happy, it makes me slap happy. I'm good to go with it. If it brings you joy, it makes me joyous. The more pleasantry we bring other people, the more pleasant our planet is. Where I stop is violent beliefs. I believe I'm good to go with every single fantasy belief people need to believe to make this psychopathic artificial scarcity, Ku Klux Klan out of child making, skinhead out of baby born in the ghetto making, slave colony of a scarce society, central bank monstrosity of an uncivilized, unsociety, non-country run by the Rothschilds. People have to invent things, y'all, to make it work, right? People have to go to that fantasy place. It has to become sustainable. In fact, I was watching Ty yesterday. If y'all watch Ty's video, Ty is tired. It ain't easy. Pimping ain't easy. Not when there's a bigger pimp that run every damn thing. People sometimes have to do something to escape. And sometimes they escape to their belief system. If they believe in Jesus Christ and the way they want to believe in exactly how King George says it is, as long as it's peaceful, why do you care? They believe in the Quran and Muslims and Buddha and Taoists and why do you care? Why do people have to believe what you believe? There is some sick, narcissistic, sociopathic, psychotic crap going on here that we need to bring an end to. As long as it's peaceful, go be good with it. I saw Zombieland the other day. Why did I watch Zombieland 2 the other day? Well, what? Because Zombieland 1 was funny as hell. 2, because that's part of my escape. How do I get up in the morning and be okay with being a slave? I got my escapes too. One of my current escapes is Stargate. I like the Stargate series. I done seen it twice, watched it with the kids once. I'm not gonna tell you where because it was like a website from China. Probably broke a few laws, but you know, that's okay. All laws are illegal, so they can go to hell with their laws. But you need to escape. You gotta reboot. Everybody, you gotta make whatever we're doing sustainable. It's gotta be sustainable. You know? So I talked to her for about an hour over her mermaids. So I figured I'd just do this just to let you know that I really don't care what you believe. I don't. Mermaids could be real. Like this right here, this could that could be a freeze-dry mermaid right there, and I'm fine with it. Okay, you say so. You know, as long as it's peaceful, I'm good to go. See, the thing is, we have people with violent beliefs that we need to deal with. We have people with war beliefs that they need to deal with. We got people with behaviors that come out of really sick places we need to believe that we need to deal with. So I don't care. They say that's a little alien or mermaid. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Why do I want to debate that? It's like the whole climate change thing. Put that off. I'm done with the mermaids. Hopefully, hopefully that point has been made. Leave people alone. We have no place for that narcissistic, I'm right, you're wrong nonsense. Your right is based on your experiences, what you know, and it's ignorant. All of us. It's based on your community, okay? Besides the fact, then y'all, I know they're gonna post something real. I know somebody gonna post something. And they're like, oh, for real? They really got a picture of a mermaid? Cause I can go in that rabbit hole. I will, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Where am I going with that? Climate change. Good example. Yesterday, got into it on the trip. What did I post? I don't know. Something to try to get in somebody. Something to put a bunch in your drawers. I just said something to the effect, there's no intellectual conversation to be had on climate change while your government have secret weather technologies. Something to that effect. Oh boy, it kicked off. It is done kicked off. They kicked off. The monkeys started talking about what they knew and didn't know, what the government has, don't have, what the can and can't do, what JFK didn't say and you could say. And I was just like, See, my problem with like even doing any of this stuff on the internet is I'm an analyst. I've done that for 20 years of my life. And with it, you go sit down, the first thing we need to solve a problem as an analyst, we need all of the information on the table. We need all the data. It's not a conversation until you have all the data, right? You're not talking about climate change. You're talking about ignorant emotion change. Your emotions change because they put something on TV and now you're angry. And now your government, which most of them don't even know about the weather technologies anyway, because they're classified. They don't have access to it. They got you upset. Now you want to get everybody else upset because being upset with other people upset make you feel better. It's like that same reverse negative energy. If you feel bad, you make other people feel worse, you feel better. Put the data on the table. This is how we did. I used to do this with my team. We go sit down, we're gonna solve a problem. We can't figure out why the API is not working with the website. Okay, let's sit down. Let's look at all the data. All the data on the table. Sit down with the team. Like, yeah, we got 90% of the data. 90% of the data. Okay, listen, I'm gonna go back to my desk. When you got all the data done, when the TPS reports are done, we can look at all the data. We can actually solve a problem. Until then, you're not solving a problem. You're solving a problem, a fake problem. If you don't have the data, you can't solve the problem. You might luck up and solve something, but I don't do luck, and I ain't got time for luck. I got time for mermaids. I don't have time for discussions on part of the data. If the government is riling everybody up about climate change, and by the way, I'm not a denier and I'm not a believer in cow farts and CO2. I'm not any of them. I'm a gardener. I know things are changing. I don't know if it's for 10 minutes or 10 days or 10 years or 100. I honestly don't care. I don't care until all the data's on the table. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't. They even pulled Greta out their butt too. They even pulled Greta. Somebody pulled Greta out and slapped me in the head with it. I'm like, seriously? Like, Greta was right and the government was right. I'm like, really? I'm like, all right, so, and proceeded to tell me what technologies the government does not have. I believe is a powerful thing. This is why we're on beliefs. This is why, like I said, I just said, but I was not aggressive. I don't do aggression. I do humor. I laugh a lot. I look at comments and I walk away. I might post a GIF, but I don't do aggression. I don't care what people believe. If you believe the climate is changing and it's cow farts, I'm good with that. Just like mermaids, I'm happy with it. As long as you don't make it violent by levying a tax to fix it, we're good to go. But you levy your tax to fix cow farts, then we got an issue. That's what I'm saying. I'm fine with all your beliefs as long as they're for you. If it's in your skin and that's what gets you up in the day, then go do that. But when you bring it to the public domain, we have to approach it like intellectuals. It's an ignorant conversation by definition if you don't have all the data. I don't want to go through the climate change stuff. You can go back. I've been posted the LBJ and JFK videos enough times. Please go do your homework. Go look up the weather patterns. Go look up the weather pattern. Go over the geo. That's what I said. I said, no, that's right, because I lied. I'm sorry, y'all, I lied. I know. I lie sometimes. I do. I was good at lying. I was born in a world where lies, crime pays, and lies gets you more candy. So yeah, I lied. But that was an accidental lie. I said, There's no intellectual debate on climate change unless you haven't been to geoengineering.org. That's what I said. I think I got the site right. Maybe I got it wrong. The guy said the site didn't work. So, okay, you need to go do some searches or something, because you can't type it on Facebook. Or did they change that? Why do I appreciate Dane Wigington's site? Because they banned it. That's why. He has data, he has real information, and they banned it. And he doesn't even have all the information. Right? It's secret. It's secret. It's secret. It's secret. It's classified. It's secret. It's top secret. You don't know. And I'm not going to discuss something I don't know, you with something you don't know. That's stupid. That's like fighting over mermaids. How you know they're not real? How you know? You been in the ocean? Huh? You been down to the Lithurian depths? Have you been down to the 111 miles and how deep it is? How deep is in the ocean? What is that? What is the deepest spot? The Laurentides depth? I don't even know. But the bottom line is, if you don't know, you don't know. Please don't tell me what's on the bottom of the ocean unless you've been to all the bottoms of all the oceans independently, perpetually, at all times. Short of that, you don't know. It's not a discussion. It's fine what people believe as long as it is non-violent. Thank you, Rebecca. Geoengineeringwatch.org. I got it wrong. I lied to you. I'll fix the post. It's like the grammar thing. Y'all tell me I'm wrong, I'll fix it. All right, I'm gonna go back up to the comments. We'll do some comments, and then maybe we'll have a moment to go look and see what's in the old. See what's in the old. Last statement. Leave people alone. Leave them alone. If they're peaceful, it's good to go. We live in a society where kids are raised with so much apathy in ghettos and trailer parks and barrios that it seems like a good idea to pick up a gun and go murder other children for safety, for money and biscuits and profit. And you live in a society like that, and you got somebody that needs to believe in Bigfoot to get up in the morning. Let him go look for Bigfoot. I'll make some jokes, but let him go look. We live in an evil society. Don't use your privilege and misconstrue why people need to find escapes from this nonsense. All right, leave people alone. All right, there we go. Hillary's barfing. I don't know why. Let me see. Megan said she had to go to, did I say it wrong? Damn it. Megan said she had to go to YouTube. Is she over there? She said it's blocking her on Facebook. Okay. Interesting spelling, I believe. No, it's not an interesting spelling. Dale Weaver is I can't spell. If that's I can't spell. But I tell people, don't get it twisted. I know I can't spell. I can't do grammar. Look at that, but boom, I can do technology. Is that fixed? All right. Is that or did he just troll me and get me to spell it wrong and it was spelled right? I have no idea. Let me see, remote control. Yeah, Lori, we were all remote controls. If you were little, that's what you did for the TV. You got up there, you did your clicking thing. It's 56 degrees in Bellefonte, PA. Uh-oh. And this is the mountains of PA Indian summer. Ooh, is that, what is it called? You know what, Sandra? I call it hot. All I know is I'm sweating. It's hot. Now I'm hot just reading the comment. I'm even hotter. I done turned the air on. It's weird things are happening. The weather's doing some weird, funky things. But I'm not going to agree with anybody on why it's doing it if I don't have all the details. If the government's got you upset, then the government needs to be the first people to put the data on the table. As long as you have war and weather weapons, I'm not interested in your climate change discussions coming from a government. You declassify all that stuff, we can have intelligent discussion. But short of that, it's a waste of time. I don't have that kind of time. But actually, it's pretty good sometimes when you misspell things, because then people come in there. I like when people come in. Let people underestimate you. That's another good thing. I learned that in corporate America. Let people underestimate you. Every time you come out on top. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let me see. I believe sex is a misdemeanor. The more I miss in the meaner I get. Sex is a misdemeanor. You know what, John? I'm not going to touch that. It's too early. I'm not going to touch it. The black area. I remember that, Lori. Y'all remember the black area? Everybody got upset because the mermaid was black. I love the monkeys. I love them. And Lori, and I want them to get upset the next time too. I want them to make, I need, you know what, Lori, I think I need an Asian mermaid. I think next time you gotta get them upset. I think we need a Puerto Rican mermaid. I think we need an Indian mermaid. I think we need to do mermaids across the board. And they should get upset. Why? Because it's important. It's important that you get upset and you show your indoctrination. This is how we get out of this, people. You let people be people. And when you can see, you know, who was that? Maya Angelou? I gotta make her voice. When people show you who they are, believe them. All right? I know. I'm sorry. I'm mad at Maya. I'm a little upset. I don't know. Is she alive? I don't know. I'm still upset at Maya. She had that video where that little baby girl came. Did y'all see the video? Don't make me show it. But she came and said, Maya, we love you. I got a question for you. And she said, baby, don't call me Maya. You respect me. I earned the name Mrs. And I was like, what? I was like, Maya, I respect you, damn it. But Maya, you need to chill. You need to relax. The little baby excited to see you, happy and clapping. Came to an event with the 13, well, she's probably 16 years old or something. Maya flipped out. Yeah, I was pissed though. I didn't like that at all. Listen, I love Maya. You're a very intelligent woman. I do. I got an issue with anybody that's coming down on children. Let the babies speak how they want to speak. Free the babies. Just because we slaves doesn't mean they got to be too. You know, I don't think it's respect to use someone's last name. Maybe it doesn't work that way in her family, but correcting her on international TV, that's not cool. That's not cool. But it's okay. Doesn't mean I respect Maya any less. I don't respect her any less. Because you're old, you know things that other people don't know, and you're supposed to listen to old folk, but I didn't appreciate that too much. But anyway, in other news, mermaids are fake, but aliens are. There goes Stacy getting started already. But that's okay. You know what? And you can believe that, and that's good. That's good. Outside of the fact, nobody gonna tell Stacy that most planets, ocean planets, the mermaid. Most planets are ocean planets. Y'all know that, right? And most planets are in the frozen area, right? Suns grow and contract. What does that mean? All that water melt and it contracts. Anything that's left further, Mars and further out, it freezes and all the water freezes underneath it. They found sub-oceans on all the planets. The majority of life in the universe is going to be aquatic, but it's okay. Y'all, Stacy girl, you believe what you believe. You believe that, I'm good with that. I'm good. And people like, they're debating aliens and mermaids. This is for open-minded conversation only. Thank you. If you believe in violent beliefs like politics, okay, then I got an issue. You believe in violent things like banking and money and forced labor camp, then we got an issue. You know, if that's your reality, then we need to have a conversation. For people who believe peaceful things, I'm good with all day long. All day long. They're not hurting anybody. You are. You get that? They aren't violating anybody. Their belief system isn't doing anything to anybody. Yours is. You're killing people and bombing children. Did California get their lights on back yet? Did y'all get your? I don't think they did. I was thinking about that too this morning. How the hell? I got so many questions with government. That's why they don't never come around here. But I know it's one of them. I know it's one of them on here. I know who you are. I see you come there. I'm not gonna put nobody on blast. I know. California. I don't. How many bases we got around the world? We got up to, well, they've admitted hundreds. We probably got over 1,000 bases on different continents, on islands, in jungles, in the desert, the remotest areas of Africa, on top of statues and pyramids, just every damn one, and built them under fire. People didn't even want us there, still don't want us there. People tried with bows and arrows and spears, throwing them at us, and every U.S. base got power. They all got electricity, all of them. They all got power. In California, you mean to tell me that you can't turn the power on, you can't make the power work in California, but you can make the power work in Zimbabwe, Africa? Are you kidding me? These people are lying to you, I'm telling you. Your government's no good. You're no good. But you know what? Plausible deniability, though. I don't think that most people in government know anything about the energy patents. I don't think most people in government even know about where the military is. Who was it? Was it John McCain? Who was the politician that lost people in Africa? They lost a soldier. They got him on film. They're like, yeah, well, we've got, where was that? Niger? It's like, yeah, well, what about the soldiers that got killed in Niger? Was it McCain? He's like, we have soldiers in Niger? They don't care. They honestly, they could care less about troop lives. They have no interest. They don't care about America. We have medieval cities here. They don't give two damns about anybody but themselves. So of course they don't care about California's power. All they care about is who's writing the checks. Somebody writing the checks, then we need to send troops to Boo, you know, the island, coastland, peninsula, and kill off the indigenous. That's all they care about. Who's gonna write the check so I can get reelected? Okay, then it's a done deal. We need to go fight. We got a case of terrorism. Anybody here still believe in terrorism? I was trying to define terrorists. I was trying to come up with like the right definition, and I was thinking, anybody who reduces stock prices in a land that we don't live in. Anyone who stands against investors, project TPS report plans. Terrorism, that's all terrorism is. A terrorist does not exist. And you guys still got people cheering this whole, we even got somebody killed at the top levels of ISIS. You need to be cheering people getting bombed at the top levels of JCPenney's. All right, let's go. Oh, Justin, whoa. What's this? What? You want to play with a mermaid with a JJ? Oh, listen, Justin, that again, I'm gonna put you in the John box too early in the morning. Two things. One is too early in the morning, and two, I got 3 boys. That's the wrong question to ask me. You're not gonna like the answer. You're not gonna like. Don't ask questions that you do not want answers to. Just don't do that. We're free to create our own exactly, Kim, and that's my point. If you live in like a time of scarcity, create your own reality and make your world work. And when you meet somebody like that, don't bust their bubble. I talked to a lady for 45 minutes one day about fairies. She had the pictures. Like, who's that, Kim? She had the pictures. She showed me the picture. She's like, baby, you see the fairy? And I was like, yeah, I see the fairy. Yes, right there, and then by the lead. Yeah, I can make it out. All right? And I'm good to go. I'm good to go. People got to create realities. It's like the Tibetan monks, right? They lived in such a scarce climate at such an altitude where almost nothing can grow that they had to go inside themselves and create a reality because they lived in such a horrible, devastating, cold, dry, arid, artificial scarcity place like Alabama in America under central banking, where people are being starved into creating fantasies. The same way abused children create fantasies about their childhood to hide the abuse. Okay, we live in a bad time. All right, let me see. Kelly wants to let everybody know that he is your Lord. No, you're not my Lord, Kelly. You're not my Lord. You know, people ask me, well, what are you? You're not black? You're not African? I'm like, no, listen, I'm out of that struggle. That's between the Republicans and Democrats. Y'all still believe in the slave master, so you can be anything you want to be. And I love you for it. I'm a god. Kelly, I'm a god. That's it. I might be a little G god, but I'm a god. You can be whatever you want to be in this world. In this artificially scarce society, I'm a god. I ain't a skin color. You can be whatever you want to be. All right? I'm some wave energy, electric creature, vibration in a 98% monkey body. That's what I am. But I am damn sure not anything that your slave masters, railroad tycoon, landowners, or kings say I was. All right? That's what I am. So if Kelly wants to be the Lord, he can be the Lord. And he can be the Lord. Kelly, you can be the Lord of me too. That's right. I'm good with your belief until your Lordism touches my skin. Till your Lordism touches, then we got a problem. But you can believe anything you want to believe. It's okay. It's all about the violation. You see what I'm saying? It's all about the violation. If you're, I'm covering up her boobies. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'll move. I'll cover up the colonized. I'll cover up the Democrats and Republican. I cover them up. I know I give them a hard time. But that's a violent belief system. That's a violent belief system. Law is a violent belief system. Legislation, using force and currency and things that people die from not having. That's a violent belief system. Belief in California government. That's a violent belief system. You believe in people that shut people's power off and they need it for water and like food and then read at night. That's violent. That's violence. You don't touch anybody else's power system. Utilities don't cost anything. They never should have cost anything. They shouldn't cost anything now. That's stupid. Tesla told you. How long Tesla been dead? How long has Nikola Tesla been dead? We know that none of these utilities have to cost anything. No, in a long time. Why they still cost something? Why do people still die from things that are free? Because you live in a slave colony. That's why. And you don't want to fight it. People, I posted something a minute ago. People who don't know what enslaves them, for them, freedom is a fantasy. It's a fantasy. It's total fantasy. If you don't know what enslaves you, there's no way you're getting out of it. There's no way you're ever going to be free. There's no way your kids are going to be free. If you don't even know you're a slave, and some people know they're slaves, but they don't know what enslaves them. If you don't know what enslaves you, if you don't know what debt and central banking is, freedom's a fantasy. Get used to shackles and chains. Get used to prison. Oh my goodness. I might show the robot. Oh, we got to move on. I'm sorry. I'm all. Let me do some comments. I do want to look at I think it was another robot video. And I showed enough robot videos. Unless y'all want to see a robot video beating humans up. I think that's actually pretty funny. I think watching robot, I don't know why. I think animals eating people is funny. And it's something in my head. I don't know. I think it's funny though. I think women beating men up, that's still fun. I still love it. And women's strong now too. Oh, I got friends, bodybuilders, kickboxers, and women done had it with y'all. They done had it with y'all since they had beating the hell out of men. I love watching that stuff. But then now they got I ain't gonna touch that one. Now they got the transsexuals in the boxing ring too. That's a touchy topic, boy. You can't talk about that. Not allowed to talk about that. Let me see. What else y'all got before we do? Let me see. When my crabby uncle saw my fairy garden, he said, wouldn't it be cool if they came to life? If something inspires you to dream or use your imagination, it's a good thing. Thank you. Thank you. From Susan's mouth to your ears. It's a good thing. Leave people's belief systems alone. You should want people to have belief systems. You know what? Because when people don't have things to release, the psychopathy, the aggression, the stress that shuts down their immune system, makes them sick, raises healthcare costs, and causes them mental illness, joins a gang and shoots you and your children. It's a good thing that they have a fantasy that doesn't happen. They can release that through fantasy and Hollywood and stuff like that. Is it Tuesday already? Lord, this week. Yeah, it's Tuesday, Ty. Tuesday all day today. I got no reason to believe mermaids are not real. John, I have no reason to believe mermaids. I have no reason not to believe in mermaids, aliens, Bigfoot, Martians, Loch Ness, fairies, trolls, all of that. I have no reason not to believe in any of that. All right, that's all I'm saying. Keep your belief systems to yourself. Let me move down. We got data first. Ty agree. Data first, then discussion. That's how intellectuals work. That's how adults work. That's how maturity works. Get all the data, and then you make a decision. You get all the data, you discuss it, then you make a decision. You don't come to the data with the data that the government wants to give you. Then you make a decision, because that means that everything can be the problem, but you're lying, sick, sorry bastard of a genocidal ungovernment, okay? Rulerment. Angela said, Angela Wellborn wants everybody to know that you're free. Thank you, Angela. Angela freed everybody. Y'all were free. Y'all don't have to go to work today. Everybody can go home. Angela Wellborn said you're free. Go home, people. Don't go home. Don't go home. Do not listen to Angela. Angela, girl, baby, we love you, but don't don't tell people that. Don't, because people believe like, I'm free, I don't have to pay my taxes. Oh, they gonna put you in prison, they gonna shoot you, they gonna have a SWAT team. You know the IRS got a SWAT team with hollow point bullets. You not gonna make it, the dog not gonna make it, your kids, nobody gonna make it out that house. Boy, they come after Wesley Snipes, they come after you. You know, two things you don't play with. That's banks and the IRS. Don't play with them. Don't play with them. You can play with everything else, but I'm a slave, Angela. I'm a slave. I know I'm enslaved. I'm gonna act like it. I'm gonna hide as much cotton in my pockets as I can and sell it on the black market. I think we should respect older folks' wisdom if it's sound. Experience does give you perspective. It does. I'm afraid to say it does, Miss Witt. It does, Miss Witt. Absolutely, it does. We need to respect our elders and centurions. They have experiences that we need, but it does not mean they're always right. I know I don't ever want a tail. Miss Witt, you got a tail. Girl, you got a tail. You put your hand back here. You have a tailbone. Everybody got a tailbone. That's why I laugh about the monkey part. People still don't believe they came from monkeys and marsupials. I'm like, your body disagrees with you. All right. aquatic or otherwise. Oh, that kind of tail. Oh, okay, maybe. I'd love to have a fin. If I could swim in the ocean like that, I'd do it in a minute. Please, I'd free myself. If I had the ability to go in the water and free myself like that, I'd be gone. But let's do this. I do want to jump over. If I could I believe I could swim. I believe I could get myself out of artificial scarcity. I'd do that. I'd do that in a minute, but hang on. I don't know why people try to sell you. Well, actually I do. I know why I want y'all to hear the ad. People always trying to sell you stuff. Why? Because corporations are starving too, and they write all the laws, they create the scarcity, they buy the laws from government, and they will do everything they can to get your money. You get telemarketer phone calls, the same reason that gangs come in your neighborhood with bandanas. Same damn reason. Everything is free on the planet, but they charge for everything on the planet. And people get upset when they don't have it. What we got here? E-commerce adds to New York City traffic nightmare. Well, okay, you shouldn't have a New York City. I know you don't like that if you live in New York City. It's stupid to put a bunch of people in the same place with brake dust that goes in their apartments and give them lung disease, and then they complain about health care. You need to spread people out. The country is full land. Everybody just go, be free, live across the country. The government can't own land anyway. It's against the Constitution. So there wouldn't be no traffic. Then a few people who want to live in the cities, they love the city. Some of my friends, they love the city. And you can have the city. But you got to get the people out of there who don't have to be there, right? And that's the vast majority who are going there for work, giving you more brake dust, lung cancer. Let me see. China will never cede Hong Kong. Well, we already discussed that. China doesn't own Hong Kong. Slavery is wrong, even from a national perspective. Alabama's not owned either. Breaking Hong Kong fails into recession as protests. Hong Kong falls into recession. Okay, well, let's take a look and see what's happening.
Is somebody who's actually
just that's the wrong one.
So it's perfect to have you back.
This one. There we go.
Michelle Greenstein.
That up.
React. And joining us now is somebody who's actually just returned from Hong Kong. So it's perfect.
First, can y'all hear that? Does it sound good? I think I fixed it. Can y'all hear that?
To have you back, our correspondent, Michelle Greenstein. React, if you would, based on the news that's going on right now.
I would wait to see if y'all can hear that. I agree with Ty. I take it back. If I had to tell, I would not go in the ocean. I know what y'all put in the ocean. You have Christmases, you rob people for Christmas, and Santa Claus isn't this big fat happy man with a beard. He's a corporation. He goes to other nations, murders children, sends them in the hole to get small electronics for toys. They bring them here at Christmas time. Is it the happy, merry, anti-Christmas? Because that's actually what it is. It's like the Antichrist Christmas. And they play with the toys for about 3 hours. They put it back in the box. It goes in the garage. And when you're done with it, it goes in the trash. And China won't take the plastic trash anymore, so it ends up in the ocean. Microplastics. And bacteria is starting to eat the microplastics. However, there's still a lot of it. So yeah, I don't want to go in the ocean. I actually have to agree with Ty. Between that and Fukushima and the things that they dump in there that they don't tell us about, I'm always scared about the stuff they don't tell us about. They'll tell us about the radiation, they'll tell us about the poison and the microplastics, they'll tell us all that. How about the compounds that they make that they don't tell us about, the lithium and the other stuff? You're right, yeah, I don't want to go in the ocean, I take that back. But I want to be free.
Sure. Well,
but then again, is the air clean? Hang on, I changed my mind. Is the air clean? We live under an oligarchy. I don't think the water in your sink is clean, nor the air. I don't know, but in the ocean, there's some freedom. Might be, I don't know, that big shark megalodon, but I'd still do that. All right, can y'all hear? I hope so.
Today we're learning that Hong Kong's economy is essentially in a recession. It's faced 2 successive quarters of contraction. And today, actually, Paul Chan, the financial secretary of Hong Kong, said that the reaction from these protests has actually been quite comprehensive to its economy. We've seen tourism plummet to the point where the government is actually now subsidizing tourism in Hong Kong. We actually saw visitor numbers down almost 50% just in October. And retail operations all the way from malls shops to family-owned businesses have all been forced to close. Now, here's what else Paul Chan, the financial secretary, had to say. He says, it seems it will be extremely difficult for us to reach full-year economic growth of 0 to 1%. I would not rule out the possibility that the full-year economic growth will actually be negative. Now, in terms of a way forward, he says we need the various sectors to unite. We need to end the damage to transport infrastructure, targeted shops, banks, and institutions, and stop the attacks on people with different political views. Now, here he's, of course, referencing what the anti-government demonstrators have been doing for now 5 months. They've been attacking shops with links to the mainland. They've been attacking public transportations like the metro centers, and they've, on occasion, although less frequently, actually beaten up innocent bystanders just because they express opposition to the anti-government protesters.
Think about what you just reported. A country, or I should say a territory, administrative region as they call it, that is once one of the most powerful economic places in the entire world, where the standard of living was one of the best in the world, where it was basically making up something like 60% of the GDP of all of China.
Right.
And now, today, they're about to go into a recession, part of that for economic reasons prior to the protest, but the protests seem to have triggered something there, which has made the situation much worse. That's huge.
That's right, and to your point, it used to be called the international city of Asia, right? Asia's international city. And this recession comes after these 5 months of anti-government protests. And just this weekend, again, we saw that, like you said with Professor Wolf, this is not dying down. This is actually intensifying. We saw protesters set fire to shops. They lit barricades in the street on fire, also set fire to metro stations, throwing petrol bombs at the police. And this has become a common pattern. Then we see the police responding with rubber bullets, tear gas, and occasionally the water cannon. Now, Richard Wolf spoke to some of the underlying conditions that, set the stage for the anti-China.
Hang on. Questions. I got some questions. I actually don't mind this. Unfortunately, people do get hurt in these things, but I don't think I really mind this too much. Can you have police? Is it okay to be born on a planet and have another creature with a weapon that will murder you or put you in a cage if you don't do what people with more jewels who write laws tell you to? Is that a violation? Can you have police? Right? I don't know. It's I got to think through this. Anti-government protests are good things. I don't see a government as a good thing. I might see a government as a necessary evil, bringing us out of the dark ages to feudalism, the governmentism, but we need to keep evolving it. But if these people are outraged because they want freedom and they want to be free, they don't want to be told what to do, that's okay. They're not supposed to tell them what to do. I used to be in that national mindset where I agree with a nation. I agree with people being ruled. I don't agree with that anymore. I think if you want to be ruled, you should be ruled. I think if you want to be a part of it, you should be a part of it. But I think if you don't want to be a part of it, I'm supposed to be supporting your freedom. I'm supposed to be supporting the freedom of people. I don't believe in the concept anymore of because you were born in borders that you're owned by a government or a bank, which is really what it is. It's not a government, it's a bank, that you belong to a market. I don't believe in that. I don't believe I guess I have to be honest about it. If you're a cow and you're born on a farm, that you belong to that farmer. I don't think I believe in ownership. I think if you're a cow and you're born to a farm and you grow some horns and you run the hell up off that farm, I think you're free. I guess I don't believe in the concept of human ownership. I have to think about the whole livestock thing. We got to work through that. The problem is when the cows get to running in the field playing with balls, they look like dogs. Sometimes dogs don't like abuse. Sometimes abused dogs run the hell away. And that's a good thing. But we define abuse differently, I would guess. When you look at some of these dogs that aren't fed and they're beat and kicked and they're scrawny. I'm gonna find a scrawny dog. Hang on. I know y'all thought we was talking about Japan or something. Is that China, Japan? I'm thinking through stuff. Like, when the dog look emaciated. Hang on, let's find an emaciated dog. God dang it. I said God dang it. G-O-T. I still got my indoctrination. All right, I'm not gonna do emaciated. We're gonna say dog abuse. I know I'm gonna spell it wrong. I don't know. You spell emaciated. I know somebody can be smart. Go ahead, somebody post with there. Be smart. Emaciated. So here's my point. Look at this. Look right here. You look at an emaciated dog. You know what? And this is one of them running dogs. You know, with the running ones they use for the slavery, the races. And that dog decides that it doesn't want to stay there anymore. I don't know. Let's call this dog Baltimore. Let's say that this dog's name is Baltimore. And Baltimore was born under unfathomable amounts of slavery and oppression and wasn't fed enough. And it started developing medieval-like conditions, and it decided it didn't want to be owned anymore. It decided that it could be free. It could be happier if it went and looked for its own food and grew its own food and had a little plot of land. I don't know. Let's say the name of this dog is San Francisco. Maybe Frisco one day decided it didn't want to like live in piles of poo 2 feet deep in its city. Maybe it decided it wanted to go somewhere. Maybe, I don't know, the dog. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if people want to be enslaved, okay. The dog, you know, you take the dog outside without the leash. I don't get these leash laws. Although I know y'all want to be safe. I grew up as a kid, nobody had leashes. You could barely go to the store and find a leash. Nobody had leashes. You just knew, as a kid, you knew how to run. You carried a stick if you walk after 6 when the time when people let the dogs out. If you walk out on a leash, and you know, if you walk out and your dog is not on a leash and the dog doesn't want to run away from you, and it wants to dance walk with you, it sees a little squirrel, runs in the woods, chases the squirrel, grab a stick, whatever, come back, you know, but comes back to you when it's time to go in the house and the dog goes in the house, then that dog want to be with you. That's your dog. I'm good with that. Y'all don't think you own it, but that dog has decided this is a mutually beneficial relationship. I think that's a good thing. You got to fish. Y'all go to the ocean, you know, go in the water, get in the wading part, put the fish in the ocean, but make sure it's a saltwater fish. And the fish like swim around your legs and stuff. Okay, the fish want to be with you. You see the example I'm getting to? If you got citizens and they decide after birth that, you know what, I figured that this establishment is no longer something that I really want to be a part of. Why can't they be free? Why can't they walk away? Yeah, let's do it in the example of an abused wife. Let's say you get married and he had all the roses and flowers and took you out and wine and dine, and kiss your feet, and massage you, whatever. And one day you realize that he has some issues from birth, from his daddy or whatever, and he decides he needs to lay his hands on you. Doesn't a woman have a right to walk away? Or is that woman owned by the marriage? You see what I'm saying? I know I'm not getting no angry faces. I don't think they see what I'm saying, but that's the picture I'm painting. Things that want to be free, if you're a creature, go. Let them go. We need to get past these slavery mindsets. Because this whole thing of, oh, well, Boston can't get away from America. It can't secede, and Britain can't Brexit. Right? Like these are these concepts that because I'm abused, you got to stay here too. It's like we're all born in this, we're all born in a brothel. This is what I'm saying, Friedman. We're all born in a brothel. And because you decide that you don't want to be run over all the time anymore, you want to leave, I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay here. If I got to deal with Johns, you got to deal with Johns too. So instead of me letting you escape, I'm gonna call the pimp. Like, oh no, Friedman trying to get away. No, Friedman said he ain't tired. He wants to get away. If you want it, all right, that's my point. If you Catalonia and you don't want to be a part of this thing anymore, you want to go, the people should be happy to let them go. Misery loves company. We got to get outside of this mindset because I'm miserable. You need to be miserable too. Because I'm miserable, or I like going to work and paying taxes. I like my violent job working for a massive corporation, murdering people around the world for their minerals for Christmas. I work for them. And because I'm good at that you need to be good at it too, that you're a bum if you're not like me. You're a bum if you want to go live on the beach and surf. You're a bum if you don't want to live in a house. You're a bum if you want to go walk in the woods. You can leave people alone. That's what we need, a society called leave people the hell alone. Leave their belief system alone and leave the way they want to live alone. Because what Susan said, right? When you leave people alone, they become creative. They can do their thing. Their minds work better. They solve problems and create technology. And besides the fact, Angela done put y'all on the spot and told you what your God told you. The God gave everybody free will. You literally don't have the right to create a government and force people under it. That's a form of slavery. It's a slave mind. It's a slave mind, 100%. I had a concept I had a while ago. I'll tell you this and we'll go back to the video. It was called digital nations. Digital nations. I'm not even sure if that could be a song. But what if we had digital nations? You know how they have digital currency? Just apply that to digital nation. You're born and you decide, let me see, I'm a free human. Do I want to be a part of a nation? I think I want to be a part of a nation. And you could sign up. You could get citizenship through the digital means and be a part of that nation. And you pay taxes to that nation because you believe in their concepts. They believe in women equality, women's nipple equality. And you want to pay your taxes to somebody who believes the things that you believe are core values. And so just because you're born in a billionaire's border and they have a bank and a black market, that they don't own you, that you be a part of whatever society you want to be a part of. I actually like the idea. Because if you're just born and you know, the nations lobby for you, like, oh, come be a part of ours. We have equality. We have food for everybody. We have free electricity. We won't turn your power off like you're in California. We don't bomb children. We don't have wars to bring people health care. You know, we don't have wars to build up walls. We don't destroy other countries and make people run up the walls to create walls for them. We don't starve people into joining the white nationalists to scare other people to pay their taxes, to take away their rights, to create more white nationalists so they can blame the police. We don't do that. We're evolving. We're sentient. We actually have all the data on the table and we solve real problems. Like, I think that would change everything. I think that might change everything. If we had digital societies and, you know, as people evolved into sentience, they chose what establishments they want to support. Now, personally, I just prefer no government, but how do we get there? How do we get to this freedom place? You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-government. I have no issue with government. My issue is with freedom, right? That's my issue is with slavery. Anything that enslaves us slowly has to be reduced over time. Perhaps a necessary evil to keep us from hitting people over the head and dragging them in the cave. But now that we have that, we understand that, we got internet, most of us have power and water. It's not clean, but we have these things. We now can talk about how do we move forward and evolve a better society. All right, there you go. Digital nation.
A sentiment, right? But that also includes things like the education system, but also including this deep unease about the future of Hong Kong, because you have an entire generation of people that, on the one hand, did not grow up under British colonial rule, but also have no idea what the future holds. So it would be totally unreasonable if there wasn't a little bit of fear. But that is, of course, exacerbated. This unrest is actually compounded by the fact that U.S. officials and organizations are actually openly colluding with opposition politicians in Hong Kong, with the opposition media in Hong Kong, and with some opposition activists, the so-called pro-democracy activists, to actually, culminate in the lobbying for the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act.
I'm sorry. They said they said democracy. I'm sorry, she said democracy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the demon. Is that, yeah, that's the demon. Please don't look in his eyes, tell me you don't see the Antichrist. You ever been in the church in your life, you know what the demon look like. Stop it, stop it. Just because you ran under a platform, you know better than that. You know when you looking in the cold eye, you know how you meet somebody, you look in their eyes and you just get cold, like you just feel a chill. You want to run, you get that fight or flight response. Come on, stop it, stop it. I know you just be fighting with the others. I know the left is scary. They scare me too sometimes. They're emotionally aggressive. I get that, but let's not pretend here. This is not a man of God. This man has no God. All right, I'm not going that far. I'll just stop and say, when you get that feeling, come on. Just say what you really mean. You know, don't say that this is a man before God. Just say that this is a man that the other side scared me into supporting. Just that's what you say. But she mentioned democracy, and she put a sitting U.S. vice president, and I think I saw the other, Mark Twain. Isn't that Mark Twain right there? Mention democracy and put Mark Twain up there, like, yeah, okay, all right. You know what Mark Twain does? Mark Twain is a war criminal. Mark Twain has murdered more people than anybody. It's like, Mark Twain, what are you doing? Don't tell me you don't look like Mark Twain. Don't tell me. She said, do you actually believe these people believe in freedom? Do you think these people believe in liberty and democracy? These are bankers. They are bankers' staff. They do what the banks tell them. They go where corporations deem. Minerals can be cheaper if they murder people. That's what they do, okay? This is why you have 22 a day committing suicide and 5 million dead since 9/11, because these people are killers. But you believe the story, you believe the narrative, and this is what I'm saying. You believe in mermaids? I'm good to go. Let's talk about mermaids. But you believe in like blowing up nations for banking? No, I don't. I don't believe in that. You believe, then they create this reality on TV. They create it every damn day and people believe it. They aren't bringing you democracy.
Culminate in the lobbying for the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act, which now has already passed.
All right, let me clarify. If you're not from America, that's not that's not Mark Twain. He looks like an evil, psychotic Mark Twain. No, that's John Bolton, right? That's John Bolton. That's his name, right? That's the killer's name. I think his name is John Bolton. That's not Mark Twain. I see the face and the mustache, and I know that that's the killer. That's John Bolton, right? Let me look up. That's don't get me going. I'm sure that's John Bolton, right? I know the mustache. I don't know all the war criminals' names. I try to keep up with them. I got that card deck, and I believe that's Mark Twain, John Bolton. He's Mark Twain reincarnated. I believe that's him, right? Yeah, that's Mark Twain. That's me. It's the psychotic Mark Twain. Mark Twain came because Mark Twain went to hell or something. He even said something and came back, and this is who he was in. But he had all the psychopathy from all the burning and lava and everything that was down there, and he came back as a demon. And his mama didn't recognize him. The mama said, "We're gonna call him Lucifer," and the father just didn't. What? No, let's call him John.
The U.S. House and now sits in the Senate where it's expected to pass.
And China seems to be showing an inordinate amount of patience throughout all of this.
Right, and you could put it another way.
Oh, look at that. China is showing patience. China's showing patience. Like a man beating his wife. Oh, he's showing patience. She wants to leave, but he's being so patient with her wanting to leave. Come on, stop.
I could say that China understands that if it were to come down heavy-handedly and actually intervene, perhaps militarily, as some are speculating that it might, it would give the U.S. every excuse that it needs to look to its European allies and say, hey, stop trading with China. How could you trade with China when look at what it's doing to Hong Kong?
Do you have any idea what they are flirting with here? Is anybody processing this idea that America is going to help China? You know what they want. Because the problem is the Indo-China economy and the central banks, they're going to beat the hell out of the central banks here. I know, I take everything to the banks. It has nothing to do with nations. Nobody cares about nations. They don't exist. Those central banks here are not going to let the central banks there. Everything's a black market. They are not going to let the Chinese and Indo-central banks take them over. The corporations that are behind the Rothschilds Federal Reserve here and the others around the world they're competing with want to blow the hell up out of China and everybody in it. And I personally don't like that. I think the Chinese women are some of the most beautiful women on the planet, and that's not the only reason why. I think all women are the most beautiful women on the planet. That's just me. I know I said that the other day. We have to stop pretending this is about nationalism, right? Because when you attach your identity and your emotions to something like this, your belief system, and they can use a project based in violence with your ego and your emotion. And it means they can murder a lot of people. What we're flirting with over here, this is World War III. This is what we're flirting with. Because China ain't gonna take it. China ain't gonna take it sitting down. See, China has a thing called a military, okay? Iraq did not have a military. A few donkeys, a camel, and some tanks made in 1874 are not a military. China has a military. Not only that, China has those satellites that shoot down low, or they have the lasers that shoot down low orbit satellites, okay? I need y'all to think about this seriously now. We need to think about this for a minute, okay? You know your InstaChat? You know your pictogram? That all comes from satellites, all right? You know your Facebook? You know? You need to think about it seriously. If you ain't think about people's lives or they're going to be murdered, dropping buildings on them because you don't give two damns, you're not going to have Insta-chat when that war starts. You're not going to be able to post pictures of your dogs and ponies and kittens doing flips in the bathtub. They're going to shut that off. They're not stupid. They got ships all over the planet with them lasers on. They're going to shoot down all of your social media satellites. You won't have any idea what's happening. Just like I told you before, you know, if you have the slightest strategic mind, you understand what World War III looks like. World War III is not Iraq. World War III is not. Who else did we killing and murder? There's so many of them between Cuba and Argentina and just endless. All the nations we done blew up, colonized, pretending to be Christopher Columbus, while the people who act like they hate Christopher Columbus on Columbus Day. You don't hate Christopher Columbus. You are Christopher Columbus. Democrats and Republicans and Western nations, they're still doing the same damn things. So you can have your health care, and your free education, and your gun rights. Where am I going with that? World War III, if you have a strategic mind, all you're going to see is the lights go out. That's it. When World War III starts, it's not going to be an announcement. You're not going to see your president, all the Americans, we decided we're going to attack China. You're not going to see that. That's not how World War III starts with all of your politicians, all the ones that the ones that are fighting each other in the knockout, drag down fight right now that you see in American politics. They all gonna get together in a bus and they all go underground. That's what they're gonna do. They all gonna go underground. Let me show you what it look like. Because the truckers been telling us for a long time. All these truckers been telling us they've been building these luxury bunkers. They've been taking all the supplies and equipment, all the best things your tax dollars can buy. Look at this. This is where they're gonna be. Let me find it. Let me find a decent picture and show you what. I'm gonna show you the amenities of what you're not gonna have. When World War III starts, oh look at this. This is the one. This is the one. This is the one. Right here. This is the one. This is where they're going. Right here. When World War III starts, your power is gonna go out. You're gonna think you're in California. And you can't see the whole picture. I can't put the whole picture in there. This is what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna shrink that. I'll just show some of the devastation that your politicians have to live through. When World War III starts, your power's gonna go off. Your instant chat, your social media. You're not gonna know what your cousins, your friends, your family, anybody's doing that's not within 5 miles of you, and that's if you're lucky. Power goes out because the first thing that's going to happen is there's going to be a run on the West. It's going to be a run on America firstly, right? America has gotten into a war with China, and everybody we done pissed off, which is pretty much everybody, are going to attack. Right? The first thing you're going to see is our dilapidated power grid shut down. Why? Because you only got to take out 3 power stations to shut off the power in America. Everybody knows how you beat America is you get the babies crying. That's how you do it. You just get the Americans whining about power and they can't check their posts. And the war will come to an end. See, no one's waging war against the US military. They're not that stupid. China ain't that dumb. Russia's not that stupid. Iran is not that stupid. They're all gonna wage war against the American people. Right? That's where they're coming. And the British people. And the Canadian people. They're going to hit the war engine where the war engine is vulnerable. The war engine's not vulnerable. You can't get all the phalanx systems and lasers and all the things that they protect the ships and each other with. They're going to protect that. Politicians you're not going to get to because they're going to be under the bunkers listening to what's happening up here to us. Like, oh damn, that sounds like that hurt. Why are they eating scrumpets and shrimp? Like, ooh, goodness, they voted for me too. What I do? Oh, goodness gracious. That almost kind of scared me. Looking up at Alabama right above them. You know what? Listen, I love my voters, but I got amenities, and they're gonna be safe. That's World War III. But you can't really tell people that. But this is the power of indoctrination and belief systems. You get people believing in these violent beliefs, bad things happen. But just to let you know, your politicians aren't going through World War III with you. You're going to go through it by your damn self with the lights out and hungry neighbors who have guns. That's what World War III looks like for America. Just going to let you know, it's real talk. The government doesn't care about you. It's not that they don't like you, it's just they're indifferent to you. You're just a thing. You're a thing to get votes from. That's all you are. That's all you are. That's why I call them just talking points, because they're just talking points. They're just emotional things to get you to hate your other neighbor who you get to die next to when they shut the power out. The power's out. They're not going to send one troop in America. They're not going to send one. Why would they have to? Think strategy. Why would Argentina invade us? Why would Cuba invade us? Why would Iran invade us? Why would Russian? We want to invade ourselves. Americans can't grow food. They don't know how to prepare basil or dry stevia. Okay? And you know they got sugar addictions and all the pharmaceuticals that they need in CVS's. They all require trucks and electricity. All you got to do is shut the power off in America, and Americans will kill themselves. What is it, 90% of Americans will be dead in 3 months if the power went out, was the last statistic I saw. Why would you invade? Then you don't have an American population. How long do you think the military is going to fight? How many people do you think are in the military that don't have families? I know they got some people in key positions that don't, and they do that intentionally. That's why they're working on the robots. Because the politicians, your 2020s in the bunkers, they need something to keep fighting while you're dying. And it sounds conspiracy theories. It's not. It's just how things always work. That's why I love history. If you look back at history, you can predict the future. If you don't know history, you can't predict the future. This is why I ain't voting today. Why I ain't voting today? Because I ain't getting a bunker key. That's why. I'm not going to be in the luxury bunker, but I pay my taxes, and it's making sure that the desks that are underground right now, the cherry oak desks are getting polished. It's paying for the chlorine for their pool, while my kids ain't going to have anything, except for the things I prepare for.
So many geopolitical analysts are saying that the situation in Hong Kong, at least the U.S.'s role in fueling the unrest in Hong Kong, is actually symptomatic of a deeper plan to decouple the U.S. economy from China's and prevent or at least delay China's rise.
They can try to decouple the world from China's life. China is an economy to be reckoned with, and they don't want that reckoning. All right. Look at a few comments. We'll see if there's anything else interesting on here. Looking at the old. We're full of crap. Yes, Miss Tree. We're full of, but it's not just crap. It's GMO crap. It's chlorinated, fluoridated. It's not just crap. We got special crap. We not just full of crap, Miss Tree. Don't just say we just full of crap. We got synthetic crap in there. All right. Let me see. Gradual snuffling has been going on from our inception. Is that snuffing? What is that? That's snuffing? I know what snuff. Snuff is they come in a jar, Miss Tree. That's the stuff that you put on. That's snuff. Gradual snuffing. Oh, you mean snuffing and killing people? Yes. Yes. Democide. Democide. Absolutely. They've been killing us from the very beginning, and they're not going to stop. And they're fine with us killing each other. They're fine with us killing each other. They're fine with the Russians killing us and everybody else killing. But that's too much ROI for that. Everybody, including our government. This is another thing that Russia and Iran and the American government, everybody agrees on, is the Americans will kill themselves. All they got to do is step back. Let me see. You can get citizenship if it's legit, if it's a legit country. Well, you know what, in Hunter, I don't believe in citizenship. I just don't believe, I think if you want to be a citizen, then you can. If you want to marry an abuser, you can. But if you don't want to be married to an abuser, then I don't think you should have to be. That's where mine is on that. The countries you're talking about have all been taken over by warmongering governments of the world. That's right, and that's why we all gonna die, John, because the world hates us. The world's governments, they need our money, and so they talk cute on TV. You go talk to the citizens. Go running in a bar anywhere in the world. Just go, you'll start yelling and screaming, I'm American! Make America great again! Bringing hope and change to the world. You can use any of the slogans you want. You're gonna have beer bottles and knives and beer nuts and everything thrown at you. They don't like us. They understand who the real threat is. Remember that poll? And they asked, what is the greatest threat to the world? And like the majority of people didn't answer malaria. They didn't answer pharmaceutical industry. They didn't answer asteroid. They didn't answer pole shift. They didn't even answer climate change. The greatest threat to the world was America. Okay? Where you have a population of apathetic people that don't give two damns about their neighbors, that are bringing about the end of the world for emotions and ego. I get the world's fear. I absolutely do. That's why I tell everybody, just live your life. Live your life, have some fun, you know. Do some studies into mermaids. Believe in Bigfoot. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Because any day this might come to an end. In Job, God says man can break the chains of the Pleiades played in Job. Or Job. Job mentioned the Pleiades. Can break the chains of the Pleiades or control Orion. The law of the heavens or the law of the earth, natural law, man's law, aren't real. I agree with that, Susan. I'm not a man government thing. I don't believe in their laws. I follow their laws because they got people with hollow point weapons who will put me underground. I'm not one of these warriors in the street that go out there and want to spar. I'm not that. But I'm also not the one to come to his house and bring some vaccinations, flu shots. That's not gonna happen either. We're trying to export democracy yet again. Yep, and we're not trying to export democracy. We're trying to export oligarchy. That's all we need. We need to grow our bank, and the more slaves you can pull into your black market, the better your banks will do. The more slaves you have, the more production of plantation will be. We have the perfect model in America. We know how to make the slaves love slavery and spar with their neighbors, and they want to take it to another country. I wonder, and if not, they'll die trying, or they'll die Americans trying, or they'll die the world trying, or they'll die China trying, because that's just what money and greed does. I wonder if we could found a nation that exists in the same area as the United States and even all the countries but has different laws. I think we can, Kim, but it's not gonna happen. We just need a military. You need like tanks and weapons and Terminators, and you need a whole bunch. You need all of that stuff. You're gonna need Sarah Connor. You're gonna have to pull Arnold Schwarzenegger up out the thing. That's the only way it's gonna happen, because too many Americans believe the borders are for them. They agree on that. The left and right, they disagree on a lot of stuff, but they do not disagree on murdering people who want to be free. They agree that you need to go to prison. So if we're gonna have a free country, Kim, it's not gonna be. It's just a bad idea. That's not a good idea. What you got to do, if you got a death energy weapon that nobody wants to know about, who's crying about climate change, and some weather weapons, then you do it. Short of that, you're not here. They own this. And they got enough people who agree with us being put in holes if we try. We will be died trying. Mark Twain was a genius. Yes, he was. I appreciate Mark Twain. Love Mark Twain. God, do you really have to look at the picture of the mutant evil death wars? Don't call your leader a walrus, Patricia. John Bolton them look like a walrus. It's like the Antichrist who's popping shut off in his beard. His mustache keep growing. Let me see. Yeah, Bolton. Mark Twain was the original Carlin. You know what, Lori? I like Mark Twain, but Carlin, I don't know. That's a tough one. Whew. Carlin, I put in the prophet area. Carlin, he just knew way too much. He was just way too ahead of all of this. He knew what the hell was going on. Back when people wanted to be, wanted to know something. He knew a long time ago. That brother said stuff that I'm just now processing. Mark Twain was smart. Oh yeah, Samuel Clemens. Wasn't that his original name or something? Had a lot of wonderful quotes. I can't say I can speak of how he actually was. But no one can, Kim, because it's history. We don't know. History. But how they made Christopher Columbus seem like he was nice and friendly. Hi, Indians. Hi. Just some food. This history. They always lie about it. The victors always write history. They make their war criminals seem like they're just polished. You know, and we know that's not the case. We know the way things work now, the way things worked back then. Everybody's a degree of good and evil. Everybody is. Man, this is all extremely depressing. Hey, Freed Home, you must be new. No, it's not depressing. It shouldn't be. It's only depressing if you believe the system, right? Like for me, it was depressing at first. And I was like, what are you gonna do? Then I stopped and like, oh, I'm wave energy. I'm not really here. It's a simulation. Okay. Well, this is what most people want. And this is what they vote for. Okay. Yeah, manufactured consent. Okay, people are still voting, and this is how they want us to end. They don't want us to thrive. They want us to die while our politicians are in bunkers. Then I realized, and then I released the control of it. Then it just became kind of funny to me. Then I kind of started laughing about it. I realized, oh, I don't really die. I don't have to be fearful of things. Okay. Then it wasn't depressed. Then it's funny. But I tell you, when it was depressing, it was back when I had an identity. When I had a 98% monkey identity, when I when I was Democrat and black and American and Christian and all of those things, it was depressing because I wanted my side to win. That's the real talk, real talk. Well, I wanted my side to win, and it was depressing when I realized that that's not how the world works. Right? We are all one. We're all one, and the only way out of this is sovereignty. Respect each other, don't violate each other, then we all thrive together or we all die together. And right now, the vast majority want to die together. So to me, it's not depressing. It's actually the way the world should be. I'm actually cheering for the planet. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for the monkeys and the dogs and the wolves and the bacteria. I think they're going to do fantastic without us. The trees and the mint can grow. Then all the GMO crops will die and the real corn. And then evolution will be restarted because all the seed companies and the chemical companies are all gone. The water will be clean. The hippos will be swimming again. The manatees will make a recovery. I'm a part of nature. Let's say that. I'm a part of nature, and right now the human beings are a virus and cancer on this planet. They're destroying every damn thing. They haven't proven that they need to be here. They literally kill their own children. They eat children, metaphorically and physically. They shouldn't be here. Everything that was done in the dark ages is now legal. So to me, it's relieving if the humans go away. It actually is relieving. I believe in nature, and plus we all come back anyway. You don't ever die. You're just here to do the best you can, which is why I'm not really concerned with what happens to us. I'm concerned with, are we moving towards being sentient? Are we staying in this foul behavior of violating each other because we can get universal basic income? I've never in history helped anybody anywhere. But John, I'm not sure where you're going with that. Release the Kraken. Yes, Ty, and I'm hoping the Kraken comes out. I think something might be in the ocean depth. I wouldn't mind if it came out and showed us who the boss and got us on the same accord. China is so controlled even more than America. I believe that, Christine, because Americans, well, you know what, I'm gonna give you my racist view of China and America, Christine. I think Americans, if we can call them a race, I think Americans, they like their slavery. They're indoctrinated to consumerism and television. Their subconscious is designed at birth to embrace this and call it freedom and call it free. China, it's more of a force thing. I don't think they're as indoctrinated by television as we are. I don't think they have as many televisions as we do yet. China's a big place. China is mostly rural. It's not, smart cities or dumb cities, whatever you want to call them, highly technological advanced. It's still people who are ruled by force, right? It's still people who are largely ruled by the gun and aggression. And so I think China, if anything, is definitely more controlled. They're controlled by force. Americans have fantasy shackles. They have shackles that come through their television sets and their smartphones, and they want to keep it. Americans can be free if they want to. They can free their mind, and the rest will follow. In China, they can't. Right? China is still a physical fight. They still have a physical, oppressive government holding them down. And America does too. It's just not as evolved as the Chinese government because Americans are so indoctrinated. Just because, return on investment, ROI. America evolved faster technologically until it made sense that they converted from radio to newspapers to television to internet in terms of controlling the population. But you'll try to control the population with the highest return on investment possible. And in China, as they advance in technological advancement in their cities, then they're becoming more like the United States. War has been perpetual since people ruled over others. Yep, Kim, and war will never go away until people stop with this power idea, the idea that you have power over someone else. If you have power over someone else, you'll always have war, because if you have power over someone else, that power will always be used to violate somebody else, and that's war. Think war will ever end? Yes, Lori, it will. We don't have a choice. War will end. The question is, will we be here? War will end. It's not sustainable. This idea that we get to tell each other what to do and force each other to be like us, it can't last. It will not last. We are a weird species that has the ability to transform planets. We have the ability to transform things, not just change them. So we don't fit in the balance of ecosystem, right? Like we were talking about yesterday. We change in ecosystem is good. Transforming, not so much. If you're transforming things, you got to need to be a sentient creature because you need to understand the change in how ecosystems work in a sustainable, organic way. So no, war doesn't get this. War can't stay. We'll either make war go away or war will make us go away. And that's just not war nation to nation. That's war neighbor to neighbor. That's war husband and wife. War girlfriend or boyfriend, war friend or friend. When we let go of this model of we can be violent with someone if we're stronger than them, or we're bigger than them, or we have more votes than they do, so that goes away, we don't get to make it. At the concept, right? Conceptually, not war, but just the whole physical violence, violating someone else's perspective. We can't make that go away at the core, then no, it won't. All right, is there anything else interesting in here before I get out of here? So economic rage in China, it's a good thing. You shouldn't have an economy. If it's not a resource-based economy, then the whole Chinese economy should collapse just like America's. We just need to wait to collapse it so people can grow their own food. You should not have an economy. It's based all in slave labor. It always has been. It's forced labor. It's a violation. It's against natural law and all of God's laws. It's against free will. Bojo and Brexit now worldwide punchline. Oh, and the other thing, who's that? Freedom? If I'm saying your name right, look up the Zeitgeist movement, look up resource-based economy. I want to make sure people got the solutions. Look up the Venus Project, look up Ubuntu communities. There are tons of them. We have tons of solutions. That was the other thing when I no longer looked at this as a depressive thing. When I realized that we literally have tons of great solutions, we're just not doing it. We can do them anytime we want if we mature fast enough. So it would be depressing if we had like a complex solution and how to fix this, what do we got to do, who do we got to vote for, what we got to solve, and there's nothing to solve. We have robots and automation that can build houses and grow food for everybody. We're just choosing not to use them that way. We're trying to solve the world's problems by dropping buildings on people, and that's not going to solve anything. So once I realized that that wasn't the only way, then it was like, wow, all we got to do is give up. Like all we literally had to do was walk away and give up. And all of these fantasy controls, structures, slavery, black market economy, slave central banking systems, they just fall apart. So we can walk away any day we choose. We just, right now, the masses want this. So let me see. Bojo and Brexit now worldwide punchline. I don't know what that is. Tell me if that's important. Politicon 2019, fight political fatigue. Well, you're supposed to be tired in politics. You're supposed to have fatigue. You're not supposed to get rid of it. That's a stress that never goes away because they keep stressing you. You keep believing in it, so they keep you fearing the orange man and fearing the black man and fearing the Democrat man and the Republican man. Then the stress isn't supposed to go away. The fatigue isn't supposed to end. You're supposed to be in constant fatigue because that's how they get votes. Lock them up chants. Boos greet Trump at the World Series. Do I want Trump locked up? No, actually I don't. I think that Trump is who Trump's supposed to be. Obama's who he's supposed to be. They got people behind them because they're scared of other people. As long as you got people behind you, it kind of validates who you are. So once again, if you want, you got a problem with him, you want white nationalism to go away, then you need to close your bank account. Okay? You need to not be a part of it. We might be the first generation of adults that ain't never do anything. They ain't never done anything. I gotta look around, and this is why political, you know what, it's not just fatiguing in being in politics, it's fatiguing watching y'all. I get fatigued just watching y'all running circles, chasing your tail, sniffing your own butt. If you got a bank account, you're gonna have white nationalists. That's just how it works. It has nothing to do with Trump. If you got a bank account, you're gonna have skinheads. If you got a bank account, you're gonna have Bloods and Crips and Triads. You're gonna have those things. You are gonna have violent, aggressive, warrior-like children that join groups for love and brotherhood if you starve them into thinking that's how you solve problems. You know, so I don't think anybody needs to be in prison personally. I think you need to open up the gates and let everybody out of prison. But the problem is us. The problem is us. If you were Trump and you were born in Trump feet with orange hair, you'd be Trump. So I don't have an issue with that. It's like, okay, well, he fits in. He fits in. Who doesn't fit in is most of these people and me. We don't fit in. He fits, we don't, right? He fits in with the whole control scheme of the world. Control and dominate other people with violence, force, and aggression. He fits in, I don't fit in. And these people don't fit in. So I don't have an issue with Trump. If I were Trump, I'd be him. If I were born Obama, I'd be Obama. I'm just glad, and I have pity on him. I'm glad I wasn't. That's all it is. I'm glad I wasn't. If I was born a Rothschild, I'd be them. So I don't have an issue with them. The problem is the core system. That's the issue. MSN reacts to the most wanted terrorist death. Oh, that's right. They must be cheering, having parties, serving cocktails and stuff, while the CIA is like, damn it, we lost an asset. Okay, let's create 4 more. I'm not interested in that. Terrorists don't actually exist. We can look at that if you want. It's just poor farmers who don't want you on their land that are affecting the stock prices of the corporations that are using the U.S. military to go murder people and die trying. I don't cheer the war on terrorism because I know what it is. I come from a military family. I listen to veterans, and I'm tired of the lies. People who want to fight terrorism, I think you should go to your local Boy Scouts and learn how to shoot a BB gun. Step it up. Go to your local gun store, and you should go join is the Foreign Legion still a thing? I think we need to bring Foreign Legion back. All of these people cheering the war on terror, who don't understand that we created the terror. We literally created them, we funded them, we sent them weapons, we pissed them off the same way we did in LA with crack cocaine. That's what we are. We are a destabilizing cabal. We destabilize, we cause problems, destabilize nations and communities to go and fake like we want to solve it to create a sustainable business because we have a gaslit public that believes this crap. Yeah, I'm not sharing any of that nonsense. Microsoft to build Pentagons. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, the Pentagon getting upgraded. What's going on? Microsoft to build Pentagon 10 billion war cloud. And the Americans like, yay! Don't worry, lady, you're gonna be yelling, running, and screaming when they take that 10 billion war cloud and turn it against you and your children that are starving for food. And I feel sorry for the people at the Pentagon too. They didn't let them missiles hit the building and told everybody it was airplanes. 9/11 was not an outside job. TikTok refutes claims of Chinese government influence. Okay. California under siege. State of emergency over wildfires. So wait a minute, I thought they solved that though. I thought they turned everybody's power off. Are you kidding me? Yeah, okay. Once again, California wildfires, not a discussion. There is no intellectual discussion on California wildfires till you release all the patents for those energy Star Wars weapons that Reagan mentioned, the ones they didn't tell us about. When you release all the data, then you're having a conversation about where California wildfires are coming from. I'm sorry, I haven't seen a death energy weapon. I've seen a picture a friend took of something that came out the sky. I don't know if that's what's going on in California, but I don't really care at this point. I don't really care to comment on it. All I care about is when government releases the power grid data statistics for power surges for the damn lasers they got, then we can have a conversation. When you release all the data for the satellites they got overhead, and you make sure it's not them, then we can talk about that. Short of that, I don't even want to talk about the California wildfires. To me, they blame, you got a lot of people out there, you call them conspiracy theorists, they blame the government, I agree with them. Until the government responds, I agree with them. Until they release their data, you're not allowed to govern people with secrets and secret military classified technology that can start California wildfires and change climates. Until they release that data, it's not even a discussion. You walk in a house, the milk is on the floor. You ask the kids who did it, and 2 of them say not me, and the other doesn't say anything, then you know America did it. That's what I believe. And until we have the data, we can't really even have an intellectual conversation about how to stop it. Leave people's powers on, release the patents, and governments can no longer have any more secrets. We see extreme bikers, wow, crowded, Red Bull rampage. That sounds like that might be me. Ooh, Edward Snowden. Ooh, Edward Snowden. I can't wait to see somebody post that he's controlling opposition. Edward Snowden, he's a traitor. He's controlling opposition. Edward Snowden. Oh, we need to kill him. Oh, we need to. I was just like, maybe Edward Snowden is just Edward Snowden. Maybe you'd be him if you were born him. Maybe he did some things that were right. Maybe he did some things that were wrong, but the information's in the public domain. Maybe we just need to have a discussion about the truthful information's out there. Let me see. What is that? Oh, okay. Ed Snowden searched secret CIA database for proof of aliens. Oh, come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. You're tempting my damn tummy. Here we go. On the mermaid thing. Yeah, we need to look at that. Let's see what he found. Let's see if we found. What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name who hacked into the massive database and saw the Starfleet manifest? What's the guy's name out of the UK? I know what I'm talking about. What happened to him? So this is how my mind works. Before we even get into it, y'all say, aliens don't exist. Okay, if you believe that, I'm happy. This is good for you. That's great. What was the name of the guy in the UK? He hacked into the NASA database, and the pictures that Donna Hare, it was a Tim Wolf, and a dozen or so other people who work for NASA, the whistleblowers who said that there are structures on the moon. We send people up there all the time. They just don't tell the American public. The people who said that we do what the colonizers did back in the past. They found a new land and didn't tell anybody about it. They went to the moon, they found things, didn't tell anybody about it. And then, so this is how my mind works. Historically, government never tells us about the new land. Historically, they figure out how to use that against us before they tell us about it. And now you have all these whistleblowers saying that there's structures on the moon, they're aliens and UFOs, they're not really interested in us, we're not all that interesting, they think we stink, everything. All these truthful statements. And then now he's doing it. It was kind of, it was damning because I forgot the guy's name. Out of the UK, yes, Gary McKinnon, thank you. Who's that? Brother Harley on the spot. Gary McKinnon, look him up. He had an interesting story. He broke in, he saw the pictures from the moon, and he said there was a filtered and unfiltered folders. He went in the unfiltered folder, and he was looking at a structure on the moon. He saw the Starfleet manifest where it showed off-world officers. Look up his story. He had a great story. He did some interviews, and America invested millions of dollars to try to extradite him. This is what I believe. I believe in the unjustice system. With the unjustice, when the acronym agencies come for you, you wasn't playing tiddlywinks. You didn't seen something that they don't want you talking about. So they went for him, and the UK wouldn't extradite him. So look him up. And outside of the fact, I will mention the fun and delicious story of I say it now, I met an ex-congressman. It was two of them. And he told me, he said, we built our first starship in the 1980s. And then he clarified with me. He said, not spaceship. I said, starship. He said, do you believe that we actually have spectrum analysis of planets on suns that are 100 light years away? He said, no. He said, we can't see 40 feet under the ground without putting dynamite in there, blowing things up to make it shake. Do you actually think that we can see out of our atmosphere to suns that are 100 light years away and tell you what the elements are on those planets? He said, no. He said, we're out there exploring. The problem is they don't have enough scientists, so they release this data to the public to try to get the world scientists to work on these things. So anyway, this is what I think about. When I see stuff like this, I don't immediately go anywhere. I just like, okay, historically, they always lie. Whistleblowers been coming out the woodworks, throwing their lives and careers away to try to tell us this. They wanted to testify in front of Congress, and now Edward Snowden took a look around for it. So let's see if he found anything.
In case you missed it, infamous whistleblower Edward Snowden just went on Joe Rogan's podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, I saw it.
It was a big deal because Snowden's been holed up in Russia ever since he stole documents from the National Security Agency, or NSA, that exposed the scope of the government's surveillance of its own citizens by collecting all of our digital data. Personally...
Pause. So number one, so I know what I'm doing the rest of the day. I used to watch Joe Rogan all the time. I haven't watched one of his videos in a while. If you don't know who Joe Rogan is, you should watch his videos. I know they'll say he's controlled everybody's controlled opposition, everybody. Please, thank you for your details. Thank you. We appreciate it. And thank you for your contribution to the planet where everybody's lied through the media. Now we understand. So I'll be watching that. 2, this man Snowden told you that your government's spying on you. So do you trust your government, or you trust this guy telling you your government's spying on you? Spying is what people do who don't trust you. Okay? If you get into marriage, or you got a boyfriend or girlfriend, they get your passwords, they go through your laptop, your YouTube, Facebook, I don't know, your social media, try to see that somebody that doesn't trust you, somebody with trust issues. If you have somebody with trust issues, they should not be governing you. It's not gonna go well, okay? So to me, that's a good guy. I don't care what anybody says. He did some good things. I'm sure he done bad things in his life. I'm sure he stole some crayons. I'm sure he stole some blocks. I'm sure he looked bad, looked at somebody the wrong way. I'm sure he got in some fights. I'm sure he did a whole bunch of things bad. Probably cheated on one of his girlfriends. Yes, he did bad things. I don't care about the bad things he did. I honestly don't care. I care about the fact that he told me that I'm not being governed. I'm being ruled by a a psychopathic, schizophrenic, stalkerish government that doesn't have my best interest in mind. Okay, now what did he find out about aliens?
I was never that impressed with Snowden's whole story. Supposedly, he blew the whistle in 2013. That's when he stole the documents and ran. But in April of 2012, Wired magazine's lead story was called Inside the Matrix, and the cover actually read, "Deep in the Utah desert, the National Security Agency is building the country's biggest spy center. It's the final piece of a secret surveillance network that will intercept and store your phone calls, emails, Google searches." And then in parentheses it says, "Watch what you say." And then inside there's this huge long article detailing the NSA's surveillance program with charts and maps of the data facilities and everything. So in other words, Wired told us the whole story a year before Snowden supposedly blew the whistle. And then whatever, we all found this out like 7 years ago, and now we're all putting Alexas in our homes, which are literal listening devices. So a lot of good the whole thing did anyway, right? So
I'm sorry, did you see what she just did? She did. I love this lady. I love everything except for when she gave her face to the robot company. That was stupid. She said, okay, historically, this is what happened. They told us ahead of time to collaborating information, and then Snowden said it, so it all linked together, and now magically Alexa comes out, and it's sold on advertisement over and over and over and over, and they even make the funny comedy skits out of it, now everybody wants it. You see what she just did? She just did the thought process that I enjoy as an analyst. Like, when you look at a thing, don't always think it's the first thing. Look for corroborating evidence that what is being said is true. That way you can tell who's your ally and who's your enemy.
Never really bought his whole story. And now he just went on Rogan and said something else that made me not buy it even more. He told Joe that he went looking through the CIA's databases for information about what the government knows about aliens.
Ooh.
He said, kind of pompously I might add, "I had ridiculous access to the networks of the NSA, the CIA, the military, all these groups."
Okay, stop. The question. If you are a psychopathic killer government with just endless secrets that lie to people all the damn time and keep them fighting each other and you starve them into scarcity, are you dumb enough to put aliens in a database that the NSA, people who you're starving, actually have access to? That's the whole point. Now, I think you have something there, but will you be dumb enough to put anything significant? It's like the whole MK Ultra thing. Like, you know, you got MK Ultra, it had two sides. One side was the chemical, and the other side nobody knows about. So they released MK Ultra, and they talked about the chemicals, and everybody like, MK Ultra's about chemicals! And really, then there was a side B, and nobody knows what it is. Some people think it's 5G or electromagnetic control of the population. And then there's the UnK Ultras, not MK, UnK, the things that they just didn't release because they didn't write down. You don't write down anything important. Here's an example, once again. I always go through these cheating examples because it's fun, it's America. Fidelity in government. If you out and, I don't know, husband getting on your nerves or whatever, pretty Ricky come up somebody, oh, we can go out to the country line dance, you know, and you like him and he's like cute and got some tight pants on, some cowboy hat, and some matches or something, and you're like, ooh. Do you write that number down where your husband can find it, or your boyfriend? Or you do that sneaky thing that women do, because women ain't stupid. The guy, I had to use the woman because the guy gonna write it down. That's what he gonna do. Stupid. He gonna write it down, put it in his phone. I'll text you. We'll get together, you know, and realize she got the password. She know not to trust your butt. But or the guy and the guy, however you want to do it. Some people smart, whatever. You know, I don't do the whole gender thing. I really don't care nothing about none of that sexual preference. Everybody do what they want to do, not my business. But you always got one person smart and the other person not so much. She's not gonna write it down. So of course the NSA wouldn't put it in no dang database. Not anything important. That stuff is what's called black budget projects. I have Pentagon privilege. I have the privilege that my father worked at the Pentagon. He brought a bunch of his friends home, and every now and then one worked on a black budget project. And one of them told me one day, said nobody actually knows what's going on. All of this stuff is compartmentalized. Nobody has any idea. He said, the only thing I can tell you is we don't need, this was during the Gulf War, or just before. He said, we don't need to go to Iraq for the Gulf War. Our technology is significantly beyond that. And I said, what are you talking about, crazy old man? I didn't say that, but I'm saying that for the story. And he said, well, there are two realities. He said, there's a reality the public knows and the reality they don't know. And in the back of my mind, like, this dude is crazy. This dude is nuts. I don't know my father bring home nut jobs. But anyway, I listened to him. And he said, do you like Star Trek? And I said, yeah, I like Star Trek. And he said, everything in Star Trek, we've either done on the macro scale or in the laboratory on the micro scale. I had no idea what he was talking about. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, this crazy old man, I need to eat Thanksgiving dinner. And years later, now you have all these whistleblowers saying the same thing, that everything's so decompartmentalized, nobody actually knows the whole of it. In corporate America, I ran into a few things that I'm not at liberty to say. I'll just simply say this, that decompartmentalization is used all throughout the government. There is no one person who knows what these Rothschilds and Rockefellers and the rest of these groups are up to. And the very important things, they don't end up in databases and they don't end up on paper. The things that they're done with, they did 40 years ago, that they move on to something else, that's what there'll be an audit trail for, right? Audit trail is called plausible deniability and audit trail. You don't write it down, it doesn't exist. If you got the guy number, y'all gonna go out line dancing later. You didn't write it down, it didn't actually happen because your husband can't find the number.
I couldn't find anything, right? So if it's hidden, and it could be hidden, it's hidden really damn well, even for people who are on the inside. So basically, Snowden said he doesn't think aliens exist. Now, it's totally fun to think about that, right? Working for the government and having that access and poking around to see what we know about aliens, because who doesn't want to know that? But really think about it for a second. Snowden went to work for the NSA, a government entity that is so secretive people call it the no such agency. So he should have already known the deal about who his employer was and what they were up to, and been okay with it, right? It's not like he went to work at a factory making jeans and found out it was really just a cover for a child sex ring. If that were the case, hell yeah, blow that whistle. But this is a guy who went to work for our spy agencies, collected checks that were paid for by us taxpayers, and abused that power to look around for information about aliens, then stole a bunch of documents about stuff we already knew anyway, and then fled the country with them. That might make for a good story, but I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it, now more than ever. And not just because Snowden doesn't seem like the kind of guy I'd like to hang out with, but mostly because, like Joe, I really want there to be aliens.
All right, oh, come on. I like her. Now she did two things. Nah, I'm fine. She can do what she wants to do. Let me think through this. She wanted aliens to exist, so now she doesn't like Snowden. This is how America works right now. Emotions, they determine what's true and what's not. Listen, people be fine with what people believe. Don't down Snowden because you want aliens to exist. Don't do that. If you know they exist, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. With her attacking Snowden that way. I'm like, Snowden did something good. He looked for aliens and didn't find anything. Gary McKinnon did. I mean, for me, on the alien thing, I tell you what I believe. This is what I believe. I believe in economics. Everything, to me, is always follow the money. Follow the money, that's it. So, if you have, what is that guy's name? Stephen Greer, I think it is. If you've got almost 1,000 people now who all want to go testify in front of Congress that they had jobs where they worked on UFO technology and they met aliens. They saw structures on the moon, and they know that we built starships. If you actually have a body of people who are willing to commit a felony, which is lying to Congress, who are calling on Congress, and they have every year for the past, 12 years, to have hearings on the UFO alien topic. If they're all willing to throw their lives, these are people with kids and moms, aging parents, they got mortgages and cars and cell phones and bills and Christmas, all these things they gotta pay for. And they're willing to go to prison, serve life in prison, telling us that aliens exist. See, I believe in economics. I don't think Americans will, I think they'll lie to you if they can, I don't know, get some more apple pie. I think they'll lie to you if you'll believe them and they can ever get caught. I don't think Americans throw careers away. It's a lie. I think that they saw Greek fire. I think Greek fire actually existed. but the government wanted to keep it secret because they were trying to figure out how to use it against the other nations and their own population. That's what I think. And I think most of the people who built Greek fire for the king had no idea Greek fire existed. So it was very plausibly denied. And if anyone came forward and talked about Greek fire, they were killed. Besides the fact, like, are my blue beamers here? Are my blue beamers here? I think they're here. Project Blue Beam, and I agree with them too, but they get a little off. They get a little out of hand too. Like, it's a government conspiracy. They're going to stage an alien invasion. Of course they are. That's what they do. They stage invasions all the time. It's called a false flag. They do it all the time. They'll do it with anything they can get away with. They did the USS Liberty, 9/11. They either know it's coming, or they cause it, or they allow it, right? If it makes profit, they're going to do it. That's what an oligarchy does. If it scares the people, it gives them more power to take more rights. So yeah, it's not even for me, it's not even a thing. There's always aliens over the next continent, ocean, star system, whatever. I don't think those are really important questions anymore. But I'm not upset with Snowden because he said that he doesn't think aliens exist. He's allowed to have that belief. That doesn't disqualify anything that he's done or said. That's emotion. Remember, we talk about emotion is how you break intellectuals. You leave your emotions out of it. Be fine with what everybody believes. I think that's how I wrap it up today. Put on the last music, do some comments, and then we're gonna get the hell up out of here. Rich psychopathy grows with their inability to come out and play. Okay, Matthew, I have to think about that. Process that a minute. Rich psychopathy grows with their inability to come out and play. I think if we're saying this, if I'm tracking, you know, people who are raised in gated communities, it grows with the fear, right? People who were born in places like Trump was born, people who were born protected, because that protection exists, they're going to be fearful of the unknown, which is the poor people. The Democrats and Republicans, the people that don't have $1 billion. And so by default, they're not going to like that thing, and because they're not involved with it. That makes sense from a what's his name? Johnny D. Good. Johnny D. Rockefeller. Johnny D. Good. Well, he was Johnny D. Good at first, and then he made all that money. He became Johnny D. Bad because of his father, but that's another whole discussion. I was watching the positive story about the Rothschilds, and he said that he had a compound and he kept his whole family there. Like his kids, they weren't allowed to leave. They stayed there. Like they'd go into town every now and then, but for the most part, they stayed at home. So it makes sense to kind of protect your group from the poor people. But the problem is the less you go there, the more maybe apathetic and fearful you become of them. That's the same way you get the whole, you know, black nationalists and white nationalists, right? When you keep people in certain areas and communities, they adhere to what feels safe and what's normalized that they see the most. But then you take them out, it's like, whoa, I don't know what you are. So that makes sense. That makes sense. You need integration is a good thing. Integrating people makes them less fearful. The left hand can't know what the right hand is doing. Nobody can tell a lie that way. Exactly, Gabriel. Thank you. And that kind of explains decompartmentalization. That's why they do it. Because you know like a little piece of the puzzle, but you don't know the whole thing. So Bob Lazar, he can say anything he wants, right? He can tell everybody about element 115. And in the 80s, you thought he was crazy. It's like, oh, we have UFOs. We have 3 of them. Some were crashed. Some looked like they were intact. They got from archaeological sites, right? You know, and then you take that with Thoth, saying that, hey, we flew around. Could have been millions of years ago, could have been thousands of years ago. Say we put this UFO under the pyramid. You know, you add that with the fact that element 115 wasn't on the periodic table until 10 years after he said it. And then it starts to make sense. But the story never really gets pieced together until like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. And by that time, nobody really cares. So you can have all the whistleblowers you want, the population won't believe them because the population is over trusting of government and doesn't really understand that they decompartmentalize things. So you can't tell the whole story. Even if you do, it's damage control. You can only tell a portion of it. You don't know what they're using it for. You don't know anything about, you know, blue beam or whatever. My personal belief is most UFOs you see, they're actually just the U.S. government. I don't know, I think Bob Lazar said that too. It's just technology. And any technology you're not familiar with, it's godlike to you. Of course, they're desensitizing us. Same with the terrorist shows before 9/11. Absolutely. Well, Hunter, that's how it works. If you can get people to be scared of other people, then they'll be okay murdering those other people. It doesn't really matter if those people came from slavery recently. Everybody came from slavery and oppression, but you would expect the people who came from it the most recently, whose stories are still very prolific in their families, that they wouldn't be for colonization and slavery, but they are. That's what fear does. Once again, emotion is how you break intellectuals. We're all truly allies. Most enemies are just misguided people. They absolutely are, Kim. They absolutely are. I saw something the other day, Kim. Remind me of that comment. It was a quote. I think I posted it. It was Michonne. It was on The Walking Dead. She said it last night. She said it the other night ago. She said, some bullies you have to fight, and some bullies you don't have to. Something to that degree, right? Like there's some people who are bullies because they're just bullies. Like that's who they are. They were born that way. That's how they were reared or whatever. But you don't actually have to fight them. They exist, but they're no threat. And then some bullies you don't have a choice, right? And this is where we get down to how we're all one. There are people that we don't like. We're people, we don't like how they operate. We don't like how they talk. We don't like how they dress. We don't like their religion. We don't like their skin color. We don't like all those things. And all of that's fine and dandy. But don't make an enemy out of somebody who isn't looking for a fight. You got enough fight. You got enough fight coming for you. You know, if you got a bully you got to fight called a central banking, then go ahead and fight that. You got a bully you need to fight called the pharmaceutical industry and chemical companies and fast food industry that's poisoning you and Nestle, then you go ahead and take that fight. They already brought the fight to you. What you gonna do about it? You're gonna go find some other poor people and pick a fight with them. You know, and the other saying that goes along with that is the enemy of my enemy is my friend or is my ally. Somebody who's not looking for a fight, don't go stir up a fight with them. That's how the political parties work. They get people to go stir up fights with other people who had no qualm with them. So they don't look at the government. They don't look at their leaders as the problem. Let me see. Snowden's questionable. Brother Harley, everybody's questionable. Everybody. In an artificially scarce society where everybody needs to get this thing called money and put it in a bank account, Harley, I don't trust anybody. I just look at what people do, and I say that's good or that's bad. As far as what I think about Snowden, doesn't really matter. I don't care who Snowden is. What he did was good. Now, it's possible, you know, when you think about how, you know, these very, very ingenious acronym agency works, you know, would they hire a Snowden and let him see things to just because they know who he is, they've already profiled him, they know where he was born, how he was born, what kind of flavor ice cream he likes, what kind of size drawers he wears, what makes him happy, what makes him sad, and use that predictive analysis, and they know that he's the type of person that's fight the machine and the system, make him think he's smart, give him a job, let him see some things so he can release these things to the public. Do I think that they would go through some 10, 15-year plan to get somebody to release it as controlled opposition? Hell yes. These people have been at this thing for a long time. They know what they're doing. They're not collecting all that data for nothing. So is that possible? All of that's possible. And and Harley, that's the scariest scenario because it means that they are so far ahead of us that they're releasing things that are terrifying. They're so far ahead in technology and what they record and how they get data. It makes me believe like the whole other side of the MK Ultra thing must be online and been online for 20 or 30 years, reading your brain through your Wi-Fi or who knows. I have no idea. You know, it's a terrifying idea that Snowden is a controlled opposition, unknowing, I don't think he knows if he is, that's releasing information to the public because they are so far ahead in managing their slave colony of citizens that they figured that they go ahead and release where they were 20, 30 years ago. That's a big, big thing that I don't think we'll want to swallow. But it's possible. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. They have total secrecy, so who knows where they are with technology. his scones are unquestionably the best. If he says so, that's his belief. He should go along with that. If folks get out, strictly back up. Could be folks get out about as much as they think they can get away. Get away with without getting killed. I think that went on the book we were saying earlier. Hemp houses all around. Please, Kelly, we do need hemp houses all around. You obviously don't recall anything of substance. Up yours, troll boy. Uh-oh, who's troll boy, Patricia? Who am I missing? Somebody's here, troll. Oh, well, how come I don't get to see the trolls? Y'all see trolls all the time. I don't get to see trolls. Watch Tara Thrall's video. She's there and talks about what she's seeing and experiencing. Okay, Tara Thrall, I don't know who she is. Carl Sagan was great. Yep, I like Carl Sagan too. Don't know what I missed. Had a call to arrange a visit with a 23-year-old young woman who attempted to commit suicide by jumping from a bridge. Fortunately, someone caught her on the bridge prior. Yeah, Miss Tree, and that's why I'm not a voter. If society is any indicator of ability to do your job, then all the politicians fail, certainly at the federal level. I really don't have much qualm at the state level and below. They're probably corrupt too. But the real threat we have is on the federal level. And if you have a nation where kids rather die, jump from bridges and hang themselves, and on an increasing rate, if you have a nation where 22 soldiers a day, and that's an old statistic, it's probably a lot more than that, want to kill themselves rather than be alive in the world, serving their country under you, it's not a government. I don't know what the hell it is, but it damn sure ain't no government. That's why you're not going to get me voting for it. We don't need change. We are so far past change. We are at a place where we need transformation. We need a completely new system whose model is human life, and we don't have anything close to that right now. She was abandoned for being emotional and lost her residence for being about $1,000 behind on a payment. We don't care, Miss Street, and that's what I mean. We're such an apathetic, indifferent. And most people just don't give two damns. They don't give two damns. We have the ability to send billions of dollars overseas and trillions for war every year, but won't do a damn thing to help Americans now. That's why I'm not depressed. This isn't gonna last long. We're either gonna, that pendulum, it swings hard, and it's always darkest before the dawn. Either it's gonna swing back, or this whole thing's gonna fall apart. Did you hear about the Scientific America did an article of the possible dangers of untested 5G? Nope, I didn't hear about it, Miss Tree. But I can tell you that I don't want 5G because the government does. You know why I don't want 5G? Because there are commercials praising it. If you need to have a commercial, then it means that what you have does not work. And if you need to have repetitive commercials, it means what you have is probably highly dangerous. The hashtag pharmaceutical industry. Her points are off point, Karaku, and others disprove her point. Yeah, Lori, well, I think it's an emotional thing. Like I said, if you're an enemy of somebody who doesn't believe what you believe, it's like how people unfriend each other on Facebook and social media. Like, you don't believe what I believe, you can't be friends, and you unfriend them. You know, it's that emotional thing. We have a childish thing that's plaguing our adults right now. Children insulting people just brings the monkey mind into a discussion and shows a lack of maturity and distracts us from the real discussion. And that's a good point. When people make things personal, it means that they actually don't have a point. That's really what it comes down to. Like, that's what, you know, when you're like, hey, listen, JFK talked about climate change and LBJ talked about satellites to modify global cloud patterns. Back in the 1960s, this was 60 years ago. We have no idea what the modern weather, economic, geoengineering weapons are, and they call you a doo-doo head. That's how you know somebody doesn't have a point. And it's okay. It's okay. I'm not troll agnostic, Lori. I guess I don't see them. I don't see them, but my mind, it's like I'm looking for intelligence, and I'm looking for people who are making points, and that's where my mind resonates. When I see like name calling and stuff like that, it just I don't think I even subconsciously, like, maybe I'm keying in away from it, because I don't do the childish stuff. For me, everything is data and points and history and thought process and critical thought. The emotions, they need to stay out of intellectual discussions. People warned us they were violating our privacy. We did nothing, which gave them consent. Now we pay them to violate us. Yep, Susan, we're that, and this is what I'm saying. The difference between China and America is we pay for our enslavement, and we embrace our enslavement, and we love it. And it's not that there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with the TV. They abuse us through fear and imagery and our subconscious mind, like they use people's evolved instincts against themselves. And that's why commercials are repetitive, right? Because you watch the commercial and your subconscious, it doesn't know that's a commercial. That's real. Your subconscious is looking and it's seeing methotrexate and people dancing on the beach and they're happy. And it's taking all that data in, and it's just data to your subconscious. And so the more you see that pharmaceutical commercial, the more that you believe that that is going to heal you. You need methotrexate if you got blue bumps. And they literally brainwash us that way in the commercials. I had a friend once who would never watch commercials. I thought it was kind of weird, but it made sense. You know, turning off the TV, you literally get smarter every day your television's off. And even if your television's not off, you're just turning off the commercials. If you don't watch any commercials, one, the big corporation that gets paid to murder people and steal their resources, they make less money. Two, you're less brainwashed. That's why Americans are consumers. They're not stupid, they're just brainwashed. Right? Their subconscious believes that they gotta have this next thing or they won't be happy. They gotta take methotrexate or they're gonna be sick. They gotta eat a Twinkie to find joy. They gotta drink alcohol on the weekends to be merry. You know, the TV, it's literally called programming, and they're not lying to anybody. They're telling you it's programming. They're programming. And so watch less of it. Forced segregation and forced integration are not good things. Force never after. Yeah, exactly, Rebecca. I agree. Force is never good after all. You don't want to force anything. And Rebecca, I think if anything, you want to let people know how beautiful different people are. Let them know what learning is, right? Learning is meeting people who know things you don't know, which usually is people who grew up where you didn't grow up. They usually probably aren't your skin color, your economic class, and your religion. And you can learn a lot of things from people from a different state or different country than you. And I think when people know that, Rebecca, they want to meet different people. That's why I like meeting different people. But you don't ever want to force anything. Whatever you force is just going to end up causing a problem. People do what they need to do when they're ready to do it. Help their environment. Don't force them. The lifestyles are very different. Integration is not a good thing. Exactly, and I thank you. That's right on the same point. You force it, bad things are going to happen. People can get there when they're ready, but also you need to live in a society that doesn't artificially starve people to make them violent and aggressive. I know the original Constitution does. Anybody out there want to know what they don't know? That's interesting, John. I haven't dug into the original Constitution. I know you posted a few things and I've read a few things on it. Some bullies you can live with, some bullies you have to fight. Right? Okay, thank you, Susan, for the quote. That's the quote. That was the quote from Sean. Some bullies you can live with, and some bullies you have to fight. You know, if a bully is already coming for you, it's an oligarchy or an industry, you got to fight. You know, but keep in mind, you only have 2 fists. Why do you want to fight 8 different people, but only one is coming for you? It's a great quote. That's why that's the only reason I love TV. I watch what I want to watch. I turn off the commercials, but usually I don't watch it when they want me to watch it. So I never get a chance to watch anything live. I'll watch it on the internet, which is kind of weird because the internet has anyone noticed that? When you watch TV on the internet, the commercials are different than the commercials on regular TV. And maybe it's just because different industries do better in different places, or some just have more money and they could use racism to sell you ads. Racism and ageism and statism, they can figure out who you are before they sell you an ad. It's the craziest thing. There's things I can't even tell you. I can't tell you. But I will say this. It's very odd that either Hollywood and commercials are no longer hiring white folks or all the ads they show me are based on racism. And I'm just seeing a bunch of black people in every advertisement. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm looking at them like, dang, Hollywood is hiring a lot of black people. All the ads are black. It's like, no, they're just getting better. Because I think online it's easier. I guess if you're watching TV, you have household metrics. But on your internet, all your devices, they got all your details that all the corporations and government share. So they know your age, your religion, your group, what you fear, what you like, what you don't fear, what you've been talking about, what you've been searching about. And they take all that data to sell you ads. And that's how they mind control you. And I think it's all learning software. Mostly. More and more I choose to drop my end off the rope. Deborah? Let me see. You try to integrate someone, by force you create an enemy. You create an enemy, Ivana, and you could start a war. Aliens could be interdimensional beings from a dying star. Some say they are a future us. Makes sense. I mean, Harley, when you think about it, I mean, there's life on every planet. There's always been life on every planet. It's just how these planetary bodies work. They come together, they get warm, water melts, life gets created. Sometimes it becomes intelligent. And eventually those planets cool as that star shrinks. So there's a lot of life out there. So there's definitely aliens all over the place. As their star dies, they got to leave their planet, which is why I have a theory, Harley. I don't think that we were supposed to be here. I don't think that we evolved here. I think the 98% monkey part did. The rest was altered. But we don't have a future on a rock. Right? The rock always goes extinct. Everything that stays on the rock eventually will always go extinct. I think Earth is kind of a game. I think it's kind of a gaming system for aliens and gods or something. It's a gaming system to see if within 13,000 years before the poles reset or the asteroid comes or a flood comes, if we can pull it together enough and love each other and work together on technology and whatever, stop fighting over skin colors and religions, and get off the rock. And if you don't get off the rock, you stay there and get wiped out. And half the time, Harley, I think that's what these Rothschild and Rockefellers are up to. I think that they got off the rock. You know, these starships that they say that they have, I think they either got off the rock or they're about to get off the rock. But I also think you're right. I believe in string theory makes sense. That there are all these multiple dimensions and multiple planets, so every possibility is a reality somewhere. And some beings learn to jump dimensions, and you know, dimensions are a lot of different things. Like, you know, the dimension we exist in tends to be a survival one, right? The only thing that our eyes see that our brain shares, or the only thing that our brain shares with us that our eyes see, are things that absorb light. Why? Because we eat things that absorb light. We don't eat anything that doesn't absorb light. So this monkey body, it only shows us and tells us about the things that absorb light. So there could be other dimensions that we don't see, and so other creatures could exist in that. And so I think that you're probably surrounded by all kinds of stuff all day long, you know, or humans from the future. And I know eventually we create a time machine, Harley, because we created the fax machine, we created the airplane, we created the space shuttle. Everything we conceive, we always achieve. So eventually in the future, we will create time machines. The question is, are we evolved enough to go back and kind of nudge us along? Or do you create some sort of a Star Trek rule or something, where time directive, where nobody can go back in the past? I think we do go back in the past, and there's a lot of part evidence behind that. There might be, there was that part from China with that watch that we talked about a few weeks ago. There was it was a Swiss watch that was found in China in this tomb that was 500 years old. I think there's evidence of that. But I also think that we are millions more years. I think we've been here for millions of years. But every 13,000 years or so, it gets reset. And so we don't remember anything but back that far. On Rogan, Snowden answered all the questions like politicians, hard to follow. Oh, was it Susan? Okay. I kind of trust you. I may not listen then. Because I think, I mean, even Rogan is controlled opposition. So am I to a degree. Like, we all only know what we know. And Snowden might just be trying to get back in the country. I mean, he's been over there a long time. And I don't think Russia and America are all that separate and different than anybody likes to believe at the highest levels. And I think at a certain point in time, he wants to get back into good graces. And maybe he did some things that he won't talk about. Maybe he's being political. I don't know. I'm gonna go on what we know. He released some information. They're up to things they shouldn't be up to, and that's all that really matters. Passive weaponry, all sorts. I prefer to call it all neglect. See, mantle plumes are only rock any longer. How much and how deeply can you gut Mama Earth before she flips her junk? Well, Miss Tree, that's a good question. I don't know the answer. I'll say that what we do know is this planet, God, whatever people call it, Gaia, it likes balance and sustainability. If you're outside of balance and sustainability, like a wolf community, like a deer community, like an elk community, you'll get reset. And human beings have been in the penalty box for a very long time. So whatever all of this is has a lot of patience with us, but eventually we're going to get flipped back. All right. Last couple of comments. I think there's still an argument on personal privacy and government looking out for your needs better than ourselves. To think. Yeah, right. I know, Matthew, right? To think, like, really, it's a good idea. Like, nobody has any privacy. None of the citizens have any privacy. Everything you do is recorded. Everywhere you go is tracked. Every time you have sex, it's on a videotape somewhere, recording from your phone or your iPad or Alexa or Google or whatever. The idea that anybody is actually still thinking it's a good idea for the government that does that. Not only that, but your leaders too, to not have any privacy. The government can have classifications, but you don't get to hide that you like polka dot panties like that. That's crazy. There's even a discussion anymore that, oh, they're doing it for our safety and our freedoms. That's why I say take all the take the body cameras off the police and put them on the government. Great things will happen if you do that. Also, Patricia. Also, Epstein didn't kill himself. Thank you, Patricia. We have got to make sure that gets entered everywhere we can enter it in. Why? Because they obviously don't want to say it. They eventually start blocking, I'm sure. Yeah, most people are afraid of conflict. Yes, Kim, that is true. And I'm among the privileged. Doesn't mean that we can't do conflict. It's just that we understand that conflict never really goes in the right direction. So conflict is bad. It always ends up where it doesn't, suppose, like that. It's a patriarchal concept that if you have more force, more strength, more muscle strength, that if you win the fight, that you're right, and that's stupid. If you have more votes, that you're correct, that's dumb. If you win a conflict, that you're somehow proven by the gods, and that's a crazy patriarchal God worshiping concept that's insane. All right. Yeah, we're still going, Stacy. We're wrapped up. I'm looking for the last comment so I can go. My BFF since I was 12 has come on G's show. Oh yeah. She tells me later it's above her head. Yeah. Well, Lori, that is the problem. Was the brother here? That was earlier. Is he still here? I know, because the problem is when you come in these things, like you're looking for the teamism, the tribalism. And y'all talk alien like I talk. It's not within the realms of people who still believe in identities and conflict and control and societies and economies, because to a degree we're like a breakaway civilization. You know, I link us up with people like the Zeitgeist movement and Venus Project and Ubuntu, people who are more forward thinking, out of the box. But after a while, the further out that box you go, the more alien you become to other people. And it's just like, you're not even making sense to me. There are people who will fight you if you say mermaids are real. Like, what? What'd you say? You know. But there are core concepts that get lost. And that's why this is such a weird time to live in, is that we're fighting indoctrinated realities. And that's highly dangerous, because they attach those indoctrinated realities to people's emotions and their egos and their identities. This is why I try to repeat myself sometimes so we don't lose people too fast. But I don't know how to solve that problem. That's a hard problem to solve. Everybody's where they're at. And I think, though, that if somebody really has a passion for fixing the problems that are on this planet, the problems with humanity and not evolving, even if they get lost and led astray, they'll stick in there and they'll try to figure it out. You know, I think you have a real passion for fixing problems, but most people are still in the tribal, everything's a coliseum, pick a team, get to debate and fight and whatever. And I think that's why I lose a lot of people in terms of whole climate change and everything else. They get in, they want to get a fight. Who are you? Are you a climate denier? Or are you a climate fighter? And I'm like, I'm neither one. Like, who are you? Are you an anti-vaxxer? Or are you believe in science? And I'm just like, no, they're both stupid. Neither one of them know. I don't believe in fighting in a time where the media lies about everything and none of us really know. Sure, some vaccines can save people. I guess it's possible. I don't really know. I don't want them. You know, and sure, it's possible your government can save you, but I really don't want it. Yeah, it's possible that the leaders who have been like poisoning your food, your water, your air, your oxygen, your medication, and taking your freedoms actually has your best interest in mind as they build bunkers with your tax dollars so you can die in World War III. Sure, they might have your best interest in mind. As hiding energy patents, they're shutting off your power in California. Yep, they just might. But I'm not going to get on any teams because our first step is all the data's on the table. That's got to be the first step. First step in solving any problem, put all the table on the data. So I don't have any debates for anybody. So I think that confuses people. They want to come in and fight, and maybe they're just not getting a fight because the people here are like, no, that's not what we do. We really actually want to fix problems, and we can't fix problems with a government that keeps everything freaking secret all the time. Anyway, this is Jerk. I gotta go. Last comment. You can't trust someone else till you learn to trust yourself. Your gut will feel between the lines. It was all for Snowden, but on Rogan's interview was weird. Yeah, I think I probably won't watch it then. I thought like if y'all started posting saying that was a good thing, then I'd watch it. Short of that, like, yeah. After a while, I think anything that gets a blind following, Susan, always gets corrupted. He certainly had a blind following. And so now, you know, they might have reeled him in or something. I have no idea. The poor and disabled should monitor the gov cams 24/7 for PDs up. If I understand what you're saying, Ms. Tree, is that we don't, you know, they put all these cameras everywhere. They put the surveillance everywhere. They say it's for us. They say it's to keep us free and safe and protecting our freedoms and democracy. And the fact that they never use those cameras to stop rape, they never use those cameras to stop war amongst citizens, they never use it to stop gang violence, they never use it to help Americans. Americans get murdered all the time, they don't even look at the cameras. When Jamal Khashoggi got murdered, they got all the videos, they looked at the cameras. That none of the surveillance is for us. It's not for the plantation, it's to surveil the plantation. I think that's what you're saying, and I 100% agree. If they started using the NSA to solve crimes of murder and violence and things that affect us, then, you know, I would think that that's probably there for us. But short of that, it's not there for us. It's there to contain us. It's not a friend that doesn't let you have secrets. It's something closer to an enemy, if not a slave master. All right, how do you going? Y'all have a great day. If your government gave a damn about you, as Miss Tree said, they use those cameras to stop suicide. And they don't. They use industries to increase it. Have a wonderful day, nah. I gotta go. I'm sorry, he said it's depressing. It's like, yeah, supposedly. If you're still on the team, we all gonna die. I gotta go. Y'all have a great day.